Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. It is Friday afternoon. What is this? Yeah, Friday afternoon. So good morning. Good morning. Good morning. In the news this morning. Good morning. A reference no one would get. It feels like I kind of just woke up recently. That's not the case, but it feels like it. I was actually up quite early compared to the fact that I didn't have to be up off of work today. On this Friday after Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving. I say American Thanksgiving because I'm pretty sure there are other Thanksgivings around the world. I think. But I'm also an idiot, so I don't know for sure. There's just no way to check. There's just no way to know for sure. It's impossible. But yes, welcome to the stream. We've gathered here, whether live or archived, to see the ending, I think, of Chapter 7. I've given myself enough time here to, I think, finish here before I would have to leave or anything. Leave the stream, I mean. If Chapter 7 lasts longer than what we did last time, I guess on Tuesday night, and lasts longer than that and this combined, I would be shocked. I'd be absolutely shocked. If for some reason this ends super shortly, then we can pivot to something else, just easy. And small chance that after we finish this and then I go away and eat for a while and stuff, small chance that I might be back on later tonight with something else, but I don't know for sure what. And final last bit of business, this ending of episode 7's tea parties and all that would then set us up for beginning episode 8 tomorrow night. Now, I say tomorrow night, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm doing something tomorrow, but I don't know if it's been agreed upon that it's happening in the afternoon or at night. I'm angling, I'm hoping, I'm begging, I'm praying, I'm on my hands and knees that it's tomorrow afternoon. Just scheduling wise. But if it does happen tomorrow night, then there wouldn't be a Umineko stream during the night. And then I'd have to figure out. And then I'd maybe want to do it in the afternoon. I don't know. Much to consider. I'm just putting it out there. I must be open and honest about scheduling stuff. As best I can. So, what happened last stream? We basically saw the adults solve the riddle. They put their little brains together. Some brain cells collided, and they figured out the riddle. I think I made mention of it during the riddle section where they were solving all the riddle things. But it honestly, it felt, I mean, if I'm going to be critical about the writing of this or whatever, it felt kind of like a weird bloat section, longer than it needed to be. We literally witnessed the riddle be solved step by step previously. And so it was kind of weird to have to watch the adults just go through it step by step at the exact same or slower pace. They honestly could have just faded to black. Done fine. Got me to the part where they got into the gold room. If I'm to be honest. But, I mean, it's whatever. I didn't really need to... What I'm saying is I didn't necessarily need to see Rudolph climb a ladder. And then him be like, oh, it's shaky, hold it down. And then Hideyoshi's like, I'm trying to hold the ladder. And then it was just like, okay. Fine. I was like, hello, welcome to the stream. Glad you can make it on a Friday. And then the big important things happened inside the room. Let me see if I can summarize these as best as I can. So, a good portion of the family got gold crazy, is what I would call it. And they're like, how the fuck are we going to split this money? How are we going to do this? It's gold bars. It's unwieldy. It makes it hard to exchange. And then they're like, we kind of need Kinzo's, not Kinzo, Kraus, the other K. Kraus's connections to exchange this money. So he kind of holds an unbalanced amount of power. And they're like, oh, fuck. You're kind of right. This sucks. We still need to play nice with Kraus. And he's like, yeah, it pays to have connections. And then, but then they started fighting and quarreling because that's just who they are. And then, whether you believe it or not, the gun maybe or maybe did not accidentally go off. And Natsui was the first to die. Graphically, I think she was shot in the face, it sounded like. She died. And then Hideyoshi's like, how could you do this? And then, you know, he died. And so then you automatically lose one pair. And you're like, oh, so the reader then goes, okay, cool. We've eliminated the, or not Hideyoshi. I'm thinking of, Kraus. I'm getting a bunch of names. So, back up just slightly. Natsuhi dies, then Kraus. So then that eliminates a pair. It's too early in the day to get names correct. And then, don't want to commit that sin again. And then, so, and meanwhile, the Beatrice is just like in the corner of the room, just being like, this is what I expected. This is what I expected. And then, so then we eliminate one pair, and you're like, okay, well, now they're like, now 2 people are dead. And basically, the one who has the biggest concern is Eva. Because Eva's like, technically, I was holding the gun that killed the people. And if we involve the police, then this is going to make it really difficult. Everything difficult. So she's explaining different things. Then she's like, by George, the fucking set bombs, explosives, clock thing. She's like, remember that time when I didn't trust the Beatrice about the flip the switch? Well, now I'm going to use that to my advantage. You know how we get it so that no police actually give a shit about us? We just have this place blow up. And then you have Rosa be like, hey, if you blow up the island, then there goes all our gold. And Eva's like, I don't give a shit. Like, I would rather have a little bit of money and not involve the police than a lot of money and things come back at me. So then they start fighting. Yada, 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 yada. And then, bam. I believe it's, I want to make sure. I believe at that point, Kairi takes the shot at Eva and goes, man, Eva, so dumb. And then Hideyoshi's like, oh, and then Hideyoshi dies. And then Rosa's like, all right, cool. Nah, yeah, we got it. We just take this card that already has some money on it. We're fine. And then Kairi's like, you fool. Not only did I start everything, but also I made sure that different guns had different, you know, states of firing or ready to be fired, prepped wise, and they kill Rosa. And also, and then I think Kairi also kills the Beatrice. I think that was one of the last things there. And so you basically have Rudolph and Kairi, and then it's revealed Kairi doesn't give a shit about Battler. She's like, oh, it's been really a pain in my arse to have to play nice with him because I really don't care. He's not my child. I don't give a shit. And then she's like, Rudolph, you got to make sure you take care of Battler because I'm not going to do it. It's up to you. Do something in this relationship. And he's like, this fucking sucks, but okay. He's like, I'm in too deep at this point. I can't not figure out what to do with Battler. And I think that's basically where we're at. The greatest of recaps. I think the greatest of recaps.
Test?
So I think this was then I think the phone was ringing right before this. I think I got it all too. I think I nailed it. We have nothing to gain by waiting for morning. Now is the best time. I know Angie will be very sad she's forced to hear about Ballerkin dying in an accident. Here's Rudolph saying you don't need to threaten me. Honestly, throughout this whole series, I've been a huge Kairi fan, defender. Honestly, I expected nothing less out of her. It doesn't sit from Tuesday, seeing that section. I'm like, of course it was Kairi. Of course, she knows how to put this thing into motion. She's a woman of action, you know, a woman of action. So I think the phone is ringing here. Battler answers and says, a test. What's this supposed to be? At this time of night? Starting now? Battler yelled wildly into the receiver. When he said, at this time of night, George and Jessica turned to look. According to the clock, it was past midnight. Yeah, we gotta deal with the kids. This is gonna be an interesting moment. It might be a normal time to be told to brush their teeth and go to bed, but he couldn't understand what this test thing was all about. Okay, I hand it over. Here, George and Nikki. It's my dad. Hello? Oh, hello? Moshi moshi. This is George speaking. Ah, hey, George-kun. Sorry to call so late. You weren't sleeping already, were you? You're all still up chatting away? Pretty much. Now, I was literally just about to say something, but I'll continue to say it, but I kind of want to retract what I say once I say it, if that makes any sense. I was going to say, like, man, you were real, like, this is truly the psychopath hours. You just killed a bunch of people. You killed your own family. And now you're like, okay, now we got to come up with a plan to get, like, the kids. And so, like, what I was trying to say is, like, real murderer hours, you know, like, oh shit, now it's not just like a scuffle in a room and then we survived and came out of. It's like, fuck, now we have to put into motion, like, what is the term? Premeditated murder. We gotta go in. We gotta get these kids. I don't know what they're about to do. I don't know if they're gonna, like, lure them somewhere. Just bust into the room. Honestly, the text said, I think Kairi was like, we can't wait until morning. But, like, alright, don't wait until morning. Just, honestly, you could do it so much better and peacefully if you just kind of wait till they're all asleep. Take them out in their sleep. But, apparently, that does not work for Kairi. Pretty much. Maria-chan's sleeping. Oh, wait. Looks like she just woke up. So, what do you want to talk about? Battler-kun said something about a test. Yeah. Dad can be such a pain sometimes. He suddenly came down from his room. A bunch of stuff happened, and by the end, he was talking about which grandchild would make the best successor. But isn't Uncle Kraus the successor? He says the four of us aren't up to the job. So he's gonna skip us adults and choose one of you grandkids instead. It's all so sudden. really freaking out here.
向こうで兄貴たちはケンケンガクガクやってるぜ。
Aniki and the others are all arguing about it across the room.
兄貴の金切り声が受話器越しにも聞こえねえか
I bet you can hear Aniki shrieking in the background, huh? He's like, no, I don't hear anything. Is that so? If that's what grandfather says, then there's no way around it, I guess. In that case, what should we do?
ジェシカちゃんから順に一人ずつ呼び出しがあるそうだ。
He says he wants to call you out one by one, starting with Jessica-chan.
ちょっと待ってくれ。
Oh, wait a sec.
ああ、もしもし。
Okay, you still there?
トップバッターはジョージ君とジェシカちゃんだそうだ。
It looks like you and Jessica-chan will be the first up to bat.
ジェシカちゃんは屋敷の客前。
He wants Jessica-chan to go to the parlor in the mansion.
ジョージ君は礼拝堂の前まで行ってほしいそうだ。
You're supposed to go out in front of the chapel. It's so sudden, I hardly feel ready. What sort of test is it?
親父のやつめ。おかしなクイズみたいなものを作ったみたいだ。
Looks like Dad made some kind of crazy quiz.
当主の心構えとは何ぞれ。みたいな沈問らしいぜ。
Some weird questions about what it means to be the head. Of course, a few things about this seemed off to George. However, Kinzo was famous for doing radical things on a whim. Even this strange test seemed plausible once he heard that it was a sudden idea of Kinzo's. But even so, if he wanted to test them one by one, why wouldn't he call them out one by one? They could have just had everyone wait in some reception room to be called in one at a time. Why would two people be called to different places at the same time? Plan didn't seem to make sense, and George felt he was missing something.
しかし、なんだってジョージ君は礼拝堂前なんだろうな。
Still, I wonder why he wanted to meet you in front of the chapel of all places.
じいさまが特に要望してる。
He expects a lot from you.
よくはわからねえが、二人きりで話したいことがあるそうだ。
I think he wants to talk to you alone. Not sure what about. Grandfather wants to talk to me?
何の話だろうな。
I wonder what he's got to say.
ジョージ君は孫の中で一番優秀だからな。
I mean, you're the most talented of all his grandkids.
何か特に話したいことでもあるんじゃねえか。
He's probably got something to tell you in particular, right?
ま、とにかくそういうわけだ。
Anyway, that's what he says.
すぐに移動してくれ。
Get over there right away.
礼拝堂の方には俺も行くことになってる。
Oh no. I'm supposed to go to the chapel too.
さっさと済ませようぜ。
So let's get this over with.
お互い風邪をひいちまう。
Or we're both gonna catch colds.
そうですか。
I see.
わかりました。
Okay.
では、僕は礼拝堂の前へ。
Then I'll head towards the front of the chapel.
ジェシカちゃんは客前へ。
And Jessica-chan will go to the parlor.
はい。
Sure.
それでは、後ほど。
I'll see you in a bit then. What sort of test or private conversation could Kinzo possibly want to have at this time of night? Then again, it's a well-known fact that Kinzo doesn't have long to live. Wouldn't it be so strange if he wanted to give some sort of will to each of his descendants individually? Inside George's mind, a faint feeling that something was wrong was replaced by a desire to meet Kinzo directly and hear about this in more detail. You fucked up, George. Something is indeed wrong. George set down the receiver and quickly explained to the others.
聞いたの通りだよ。
It's as you heard?
おじい様が僕たち全員に何かのテストをしたいと言ってる。
Grandfather says he wants to give us all some kind of test.
テスト？
A test?
何年かぶりに書斎から出てきたと思ったら、こんな時間にテストごっこかよ。
After hiding in his study all these years, he suddenly decides to give us a test this late at night?
たくじいさまね。
Damn that old geezer.
何を考えてやがんだ。
What's he thinking?
それに関しては、僕たちの親も同感のようだよ。
Seems our parents feel the same way.
かなり揉めてるみたいだ。
It sounds as though they're very worked up about it.
ま、揉めたところでじい様には勝てないんだろうけどな。
Well, I doubt getting worked up about it will change grandfather's mind.
そういうことだね。
Exactly.
仕方がない。
We might as well accept it.
当主様の命令だからね。
It's grandfather's order after all.
従おう。
Let's obey.
まず最初は僕とジェシカちゃんが呼ばれてる。
To start, Jessica-chan and I are being called out.
僕は礼拝堂へ。
I'm going to the chapel.
ジェシカちゃんはお屋敷の客前だそうだ。
Jessica-chan is supposed to go to the parlor in the mansion.
俺とマリアは
What about Maria and me?
追って連絡があると思うよ。
I think they'll contact you later.
ここで待ってて。
Wait here.
真夜中のテスト。
A midnight test.
なんだろう。
What could it be?
どんなテストだろう。
What kind of test is it?
クイズ？
A quiz?
パズル？
A puzzle?
マリア、狼と羊のパズルなら得意。
I'm really good at wolves and sheep puzzles. Maria, who is now fully awake, seemed to be very excited about this unexpected midnight test.
じゃあ俺たちは留守番してるぜ。
Then we'll just hang out here.
Mm.
Yes.
じゃあ行ってくれよ。
Okay, I'm going.
もう待ってるみたいだし。
Sounds like they're already waiting for us.
次期当主は孫の誰かにね。
So, he's making one of his grandkids the successor.
ま、私には好都合だぜ。
Sounds great to me.
誰かに押し付けるチャンス。
Now I can let one of you guys deal with it.
マリア、次期当主になる。
I'm gonna become the successor.
なりたいなりたい。
I wanna do it.
うんうんうん。
マリアが次期当主ってのも悪くねえぜ。
Having Maria as the successor wouldn't be so bad.
じゃあね。
Bye.
また後で。
See you later. Oh, no. No, you won't. You won't. Rudolph put down the receiver and stood up.
さて
Okay.
俺は礼拝堂前か。
Guess I'm going to the spot in front of the chapel.
冷えそうだな。
It's damn cold out there.
ゴーダさん
Goda-san?
戻ってきたら熱いコーヒーの用意を頼むぜ。
Have some coffee waiting for me when I get back, will you? Next to Rudolph, Goda was lying face up. Damn, his face was covered by a crossword puzzle book. However, his pages were stained with blood. He didn't need to move the book to imagine how he had met his pitiful end.
どう？
How was it?
いい脚本だったでしょ？
A nice script, don't you think?
ああ、
Yep.
親父に感謝だぜ。
We should be thanking Dad.
親父の気まぐれってことにしときゃ誰も疑いやしね
If we just say it was him being fickle, no one's gonna doubt us.
じゃあ手分けしていきましょう。
Then let's split up.
私はジェシカちゃんを、
I'll take care of Jessica-chan.
あなたはジョージ君を。
You take care of George-kun.
え。おう、
Got it.
手際よく済ませてのんびりコーヒーでもすすろうぜ。
Let's get this over with quickly, so we can relax and have some coffee.
大丈夫よね。
There won't be any problems, yes?
今頃になって両親の呵責とかないわよね。
No sudden pangs of conscience? Kyrie smiled coldly. It probably would have been safer to call them out one by one and finish them off together. However, Kyrie had chosen to have her husband work separately. She wanted to measure Rudolph's resolve. If she was the only one who got her hands dirty and Rudolph just watched, his heart wouldn't be as dedicated to this venture. By having him dirty his own hands, she could make him truly determined to see this thing through. Kyrie understood this sort of mind game better than anyone else. Rudolph reflexively averted his gaze from the cold glint in her eyes, but then he just shrugged and answered her questions.
当たり前だろ。
Of course.
10億の金が手に入るかどうかの瀬戸際にいるんだ。
We have 1 billion yen writing on this.
俺も男だぜ。
And I'm a man,
人生に二度とないチャン
doing
ス。
manly things.
棒に振るつもりはねえさ。
I'm not gonna miss a chance that'll never come again in my lifetime.
それでこそルドルフさんよ。
I expected no less of you, Rudolph-san.
私はここ一番のチャンスを逃さない人が好き。
I love people who seize chances when they come.
そんなあなただから私は好きになったのよ。
That's why I fell in love with you.
おう
It's the manliest of things you could do is murder children in cold blood. Thanks.
嬉しいぜ。
I'm glad.
ルドルフさ
Rudolph-san?
なんだよ。
What?
ん、ずっといてね。
Stay like that. Always. Okay? Man, Kyrie's such a such a baddie. I couldn't even say it without laughing.
え
Huh?
なんだ
What did you say?
ずっと
Always remain the same Rudolph-san I love.
私の好きなルドルフさんのままでいてね。
Okay?
当然だろ。
Of course.
俺がいつお前を失望させたよ。
When have I ever let you down?
お前はそんな心配より祝杯をあげる時のシャンパンの銘柄でも迷ってろってね。
You should be worrying more about what kind of champagne we'll use to toast our victory.
そうするわ。
I'll do that.
いいよ。
Take care now.
バトラ君が大事なら礼拝堂前でジョージ君をやっちゃダメよ。
If you really treasure Badler-kun, don't kill George-kun in front of the chapel, okay?
死体を見つけられたら面倒でしょ。
It'll be a pain if he finds the body.
ああ、分かってる。
Yeah, I know.
その辺にうまく誘い出すさ。
I'll lure him away somehow.
雨の屋外だ。
We'll be outside, and it's raining.
どうとでもなるさ。
Should be some way to do it.
西部劇の悪役じゃないんだからね。
And you aren't a villain in some old western, got it?
メイドの土産とか最後に言い残すことはとかそんなことやっちゃダメよ。
Don't grant any last requests or take down any final messages, okay? Kyrie lifted up her gun again and ran the lever to eject the casing from the round she had killed Goda with. I don't trust Rudolph. I think he's still gonna he's not gonna just immediately kill George. He's gonna really want to try to do the thing. See, that's the thing. He's gonna be extra. Exactly. Exactly. He's he can't help but be extra. Dear. Dear. Eva was holding Hideyoshi's body and crying. She hadn't been shot at all. The bullet had grazed her head and missed. She hadn't been playing dead. She really thought that she'd been shot. When Kyrie's gun spat fire, Eva felt something fierce skim past her head, before feeling lightheaded and fainting. Then, she had awoken in the now silent room of the gold. The remains of her beloved husband lay beside her. I lived, bitch! As well as Kraus, Natsui, and Rosa's corpses. It was a room of death and piled up bodies. When she had cried all she could over Hideyoshi's body, she realized that she still had something she needed to do. Truly the cockroach of Umineko. George is in danger. Oh no, her mother instincts are kicking in. George! George! They're trying to use the bomb to blow up everything, to bury this whole island with an explosion accident. Of course. As Eva had suspected, the switch on the clock was set to the right, which meant that it was active. Eva moved to flip it to the left, and stopped. That's right. As long as the switch points to the right, everything that happens will disappear in this night of illusions. Yes, this is an illusion. No matter what happens tonight, everything will become muddled and hidden away. They're probably going to kill everyone else.
そうに違いない絶対に
I know, I love how this game, it keeps putting it in, like, quotations. Like, explosion accident. It's like... like, they're really trying to make explosion accident a thing, and I love it. That has to be it. I'm sure of it. When she looked at the table with the box of bullets, she saw signs that they had roughly grabbed a bunch of bullets before leaving. It clearly showed that they planned to use that many bullets. I have to fight, if only to protect just the life of my precious son. The gun that I dropped when I was shot stuck with the lever open. No matter how hard I pull, it won't open any further, and won't close again. Apparently, a bullet has gotten jammed, breaking it. It's just as Kyrie said. Loading a bullet is tough if you aren't used to it. Please. Dear.
力を貸して
Lend me your strength.
ジョージを守るために
Lend me your strength. The strength of Hideyoshi.
力を貸して
So that I can protect George. In Hideyoshi's hand was Krause's gun, which he had been trying to pick up. Eva took it, prayed to her husband one more time, and tugged on the lever handle. With a light metallic sound, the golden casing spun through the air and bounced off the ground. When she timidly tried to push the lever back, this time it returned to its original place without any resistance. There was another metallic clang. It was the sound of a new bullet being loaded. Eva, you only got one shot. Do not miss your chance or blow this opportunity. Angie says,
そんなことだろうと思ったわ。
I figured it'd be something like this.
私にとって一番胸くその悪いゲームを見せて嘲笑ってやろうって魂胆ね。
Someone's scheming to show me the game that disgusts me most, just to mock me. In the game so far, various people have been suspected of being the culprit or an accomplice. The only difference now is that Rudolph and Kyrie were those suspects. However, to Angie, that was the most infuriating plot twist possible. Even Leon was full of painful thoughts. Solving the epitaph was supposed to be the only miracle that could lead to a game without a single victim. But ironically, the tragedy hadn't been averted even so. Does this mean we aren't allowed to have a future where we all happily return from this island alive, even if the epitaph is miraculously solved before the crime occurs? A miracle certainly will not occur. Those words, which I had heard in one of the fragments Bernkastel had shown me, raced through my mind.
ベルンカステルさん、
Bernkastel-san,
あなたは私にこの世界の素晴らしさを教えてくれた。
you showed me how wonderful my world was.
そんなあなたがエンジェを傷つけるためだけにこんな物語を紡ぐとは信じたくない。
I don't want to believe that you created this tale just to hurt Angie.
ゲームマスターがあなたであることはもう私にも分かっているんです。
By now, even I realize that you're the game master here.
教えてください。
Please, tell me.
どうしてあなたはこんなゲームを私たちに見せるんです。
Why are you showing us this game? Of course, no one answered Leon's muttered question. The game created to mock Angie continued emotionlessly, with more terrible twists that didn't betray anyone's expectations anymore. Huh.
好きに最悪のゲームを繰り広げればいい。
Show whatever terrible game you like.
猫箱の中の無限の可能性の中の一つだと言いたいんでしょ。
You're trying to say that this is one of the endless possibilities inside the cat box, right?
好きになさいよ、好きに。
Just do whatever you want.
私はこんなことではくじけない。
I won't let something like this get to me.
1986年10月5日の真実をいつか必ず暴いてやるんだから。
Someday, I'll find out the truth of what happened on October 5th, 1986. After meeting Kyrie in the parlor, Jessica was told that the test would be held in the dining hall, and she followed Kyrie there.
誰もいないぜ、キリエおばさん。
Oh no. And Kyrie, there's no one here.
すぐに来るわよ
He'll be here soon.
そこに座ってて
Sit over there. No, no. Jessica sat in the chair she had been offered, looking nervous and agitated. Kairi was by far the calmer of the two. Kairi closed the door behind her, revealing the gun that rested behind it. Jessica was facing the other way, so she saw nothing.
キリエおばさんは聞いているんですか？
Did you hear anything about this, Aunt Kairi?
どんなテストか。
Like, what kind of test this is?
ね
Yes,
え、すぐに終わる。
it'll be over soon.
そうだといいんですけどね。
I sure hope so. Oh, as she complained, Jessica turned her head around, and the tip of her nose bumped into cold metal. Huh? Uncle Rudolph,
何をするんですか？
what are you doing?
後ろから撃つのはどうにも性に合わね
I guess shooting people in the back just isn't for me after all.
危ないじゃないですか。
Hey, that was dangerous.
一体何の真似です？
What on earth are you doing?
え。銃口を向けて引き金を引くってのは他に何の真似があるってんだ。
Come on. Why else would someone point a gun and pull the trigger? Rudolph reloaded rapidly and pulled the trigger again without any sign of hesitation. Oh no! George! As the sound of gunfire thundered through the rain, George grabbed at his side and fell to his knees.
おかしい
That's weird.
な。やっぱり狙いより下にずれるぜ。
I guess it really does shoot low.
この銃癖がひ
This gun's really got it bad.
誰か
Somebody!
助けて。ルドルフおじさんが。
Help me! Uncle Rudolph is... George started stumbling away, still clutching at his side. His voice, as he called for help, was weak and thin. In comparison, Rudolph, who stood behind him, looked perfectly calm as he fiddled with his gun and checked his sights. It hurts. It hurts. It felt to George as though something had been gouged into his side. It was so painful that he could barely stand and walk. He leaned against the trunk of a tree. After he crouched down, trying to cover his wound, he was no longer able to stand back up. George didn't have a clue what was going on. However, he had felt as though something was wrong this whole time. Of course, it was strange that he'd be called out alone to a place like this at a time like this. And yet, how could he have known that something was wrong? After all, his own uncle had told him that his grandfather was asking him to join the family conference. How could he have suspected?
悪いなジョージ君。
Sorry about this, George-kun.
痛えか。
It hurts, doesn't it?
これなら背後から脳天をズドンとやった方が慈悲があった。
If I knew it'd come to this, it would have been kinder to blow out your brains from behind.
何もわからねえうちにズドンじゃあまりに無慈悲かと思ったんだが、どうやら逆だったらしい。
I thought it'd be too cruel to finish you off before you knew what hit you, but it looks like I got it backwards. What? Why? Uncle Rudolph.
あんなに
Why would...
優しかったおじさんがどう
my kind uncle do
して
this?
このことは忘れろ。
Forget about this.
明日の夜には全てなかったことになる。
By tomorrow night, all of it won't have happened. With a quick use of the lever handle, he loaded another bullet. The casing of the bullet that had pierced George's side fell heartlessly in front of him.
突然の不幸な事故でみんな死んじまうのさ。
Everyone's gonna die in a sudden, unfortunate accident.
その瞬間まで俺たち親族が仲良くやってるんさ。
Until that moment, we'll all be a big, happy family.
そうなるん
That's how it's gonna be.
だ。だからこいつは気にする。
So don't worry about this.
忘れる。
Forget it all. Of course, George didn't have a clue what Rudolph was talking about. All he knew was that Rudolph wanted to kill him, and that he showed no trace of hesitation. His image of Rudolph as the ideal, cool, joke-loving adult didn't match up with the man standing in front of him holding a gun. No, maybe this feels wrong because it fits him too well. He has that same smile as though he's about to tell some hilarious joke, but he's pointing a gun at me. Why would that kind, funny Uncle Rudolph do this? It made him feel unimaginably sad, and tears flowed from his eyes. Uncle Rudolph.
あなたのこと憧れてたのに。
I admired you so much.
いつも言ってたろ、ジョージ君。
Haven't I always told you, George-kun?
俺みたいな大人になっちゃダメだぞ。
Make sure you don't end up as an adult like me.
つまりはそういうことさ。
Now you'll see.
来世では悪党を見抜く目を最初に養うんだ。
In the next world, make learning how to spot villains your first priority.
ジョージ君ならできるさ。
I know you can do it.
何しろ勤勉なんだ。
After all, it's just another kind of studying. I know he's doing it. Oh, he's doing the kick. He bit down the pain in his side. With the last of his strength, George threw his whole body into a roundhouse kick. At the same time, fire spat from Rudolph's gun. The bullet pierced George's chest. George spun around as he fell amidst an outpouring of blood. He moaned wordlessly, clenching blood-stained teeth. A frigid gun was pressed harshly against his temple. So long.
来世であの男になれよ。
Go become a great man in the next world.
俺みたいな金に目がくらむ外道にはなる。
Don't get blinded by money like me.
ルドルフおじさんが
I can't believe
お金で人を殺すなんて
that my uncle
信じられない。
would kill for money. You're so innocent.
殺せるんだぜ。
People can kill
金で。
over money. The ruthless trigger forestalled any further questions. George's hands, which had been covering his wound, dropped lifelessly. When Rudolph saw the last glimmer of life leave him, he sighed deeply and looked tired. That was easier than I thought. Damn. Rudolph looked up into the dark, rainy sky, the raindrops hitting him full in the face, and laughed with an indescribable expression, his tongue hanging out.
もっと両親が痛むと思ってたぜ。
I thought my conscience would bug me more.
終わってみりゃ案外こんなもんだ。
Now that it's over, it's pretty easy. Giggle. Giggle. Gah ha 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 ha. Rudolph laughed. This was probably just the thing Kyrie had hoped for. It had taken considerable effort to kill George. He may have been merciless, but the last traces of a conscience in Rudolph's heart had probably slowed him down. However, now that he had killed someone with his own hands, a turning point that few people ever reach, Rudolph had finally awakened. No, he finally understood.
バカから金を絞り取る。全く同じことさ。
It's just like squeezing dough out of a bunch of morons.
いつもの石取りゲームじゃね
Same old game of musical chairs.
目の前に金の山があったら早いもん勝ち。
If there's a pile of money in front of you, first one to reach it wins.
遅いやつは蹴落とされて地獄行きってわけさ。
The slow ones just get kicked down to hell. Haven't I driven dozens of poor fools into debt with my earlier swindles? Several of those probably ended up bankrupt. Some of those might have hanged themselves. And I always laughed like it was none of my business. And that's all there is to it. The only difference now is that, for the first time, I've dealt the final blow with my own hands.
ありがとうよ、キ
Thanks, Kyrie.
リ。いつもお前は俺の心の甘えを断ち切ってくれるよ。
You're always the best at cutting away my naivety. Do you feel like a man when you push Georgia around? Do you feel better now? This feels like it's like the start of like a an animated music video. Set to the red jumpsuit apparatuses face down. I don't know why that comes to my mind. Rudolph's evil laugh rang out. The laugh was so purely evil, it was almost soothing. Hypocritical evil that still contained some pangs of conscience, far more repulsive to behold. If a man's committed to doing great evil anyway, how much more pleasant and gallant it is when he's wholly devoted to his goal. In that sense, Rudolph's evil smile and laugh were pleasant and gallant indeed. Which means the brutal, bloody stage of the dining hall must have been soothing as well. Yeah, we didn't get to see, Excuse me? A clang. A thud. A crack. A squish. Wow. A strange mixture of these sounds kept repeating over and over at the same tempo. Each time, a red splash landed on the tablecloth dangling nearby.
Jessica-chan. 聞こえてる?
Jessica-chan, can you hear me? Kyrie asked this with the sort of smile any aunt might make to her niece. However, Jessica didn't answer. There was nothing particularly surprising about this. After all, by now, her nose had been broken. Her eyes had been smashed. Her teeth had been knocked out. And not only her nose, but her entire face was now hardly recognizable as a face. Ugh. Just a lump of bloody flesh. Kyrie finally stopped her task of repeatedly smashing Jessica's face with the stock of her gun. Still, sitting on top of Jessica, she tossed her gun to the side, pulled a compact out of her pocket, and looked at her own face in the mirror. Then, finally, she realized that her face was covered by speckles of fresh blood. Now, I've used this joke several times throughout the series. Maybe not enough, but truly, for this moment, Kyrie, I could fix her. I could fix her. Then finally, she realized her face was covered by speckles of fresh blood.
ひどいありさまだな。
How terrible.
服も台無しじゃない。
These clothes will have to go too. Cackle, 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 cackle. With a muffled laugh, Kyrie shakily rose to her feet. Jessica wasn't moving anymore. She had been convulsing a bit until a second ago, but now she was as still as stone.
女の顔を殴ることに関しちゃ
Smashing a woman's face
おばさん慣れてるのよ。
is nothing new to your aunt, okay?
ごめんね。
Sorry about that.
抵抗しないでくれたら綺麗な死に顔にしてあげられたのにね。
If you hadn't resisted, I could have given you a much cleaner death. Kyrie pulled the tablecloth off and used it like a towel. to wipe the blood from all over her body. However, instead of taking the blood off, it just smeared it around and did nothing to remove the stench of blood and death that covered her. When she got tired of rubbing the tablecloth against the blood, Kairi walked over to the extension line telephone in the corner of the room. Then, she dialed the number for the cousin room in the guest house.
もしもし
Hello?
私よ
It's me.
今度はバトラ君の番よ
It's your turn now, Badlerkin.
今度はバトラ君が礼拝堂前に行ってちょうだい
Go to the spot in front of the chapel, please.
ええそう
Yes, that's right.
マリアちゃんの指示は受けてないわ
I haven't been given any instructions for Maria-chan.
そこで待ってても
Have her wait there. Giggle.
ええしっかりね
Yes, keep your wits about you.
バトラ君が次期当主に選ばれるよう応援してるわ
I'm rooting for you to be chosen as the successor, Badlerkin. I think she's gonna have Battler killed. That's the intentions, I think. With the same smile as usual and the partly wiped splashes of blood still covering her face, Kairi finished her call to Battler. When she sat down the receiver, there was a small knock, and Rudolph came back into the room.
おお、ひでえありさまだな。
Hey, you look like shit.
ジェシカちゃん思ったより反応のいい子でね
Jessica-chan has better reflexes than I gave her credit for.
まさかあそこで払いのけられるとは思わなかったわ
I didn't think she'd be able to fight back from a situation like that.
この死にざまじゃ、むしろお気の毒としか言えんね。
It's a bit of a shame she had to end up looking like this.
夏日姉さんにのいい女が台無しだぜ。
What a waste of a good, Natsui-esque woman. A weird thing to say. And how about your end?
手こずらなかった
Did he give you much trouble?
問題なしだ。
No problems there.
ちょろいもんさ。
Plain and simple. When Kairi heard Rudolph's instant response, she favored him with an evil smile. Yes, the man she loved was the sort who could do it if he tried, without letting cheap emotions get in the way.
愛してるわルドルフさん
I love you, Rudolph-san.
そうでなくっちゃ
I wouldn't have it any other way.
これで日当が10億出るならちょろい仕事じゃねえか。
It's hard to imagine an easier job to net you a billion yen.
親父がよく言ってたぜ。
It's like Dad always said.
男は人生で一度人を殺す覚悟を持って臨む日が訪れるってね。
In the life of every man, there comes one day when he has to be willing to kill.
常に相手を殺してでも生き残る覚悟を持ってよね
In other words, always be determined to survive, even if you have to kill to do it.
お父様の言葉の中で一番好きな言葉よ
That's my favorite line of his.
お次はどうする？
What's next?
俺のライフルは血を求めてるぜ。
My rifle is hungry for blood.
次は大仕事よ
You got a big job coming up,
バトラ君の説得
convincing Badlerkin.
おっと。
あ
そうだったな。
That's right.
こいつは面倒だ。
That'll be a pain. What are the... Just putting this out there. What are the chances Kairi kills Rudolph? She's just using him to take out the kids now? But, like... I would definitely wouldn't put past... She goes, alright, cool. That's taken care of.
引き金引かずに終わりたいもんだ。
Hope I don't have to end it by pulling the trigger.
私は気に入ってるのよ
I've really enjoyed
エンジェとの3人家族の生活
life as a 3-person family with Ange.
でもどうしてもそれにバトラ君を加えたいというなら
Oh. But
頑張ってね
if you really want Badlerkin to join in on that, give it your best.
おう。
Sure.
グーの音も言わせねえつもりだ。
We'll make sure we don't have any complaints from him.
大丈夫。うまく騙すシナリオも用意してるさ。
Don't worry. I've worked out a scenario to trick him good.
頑張ってね
Good luck.
私もできることならエンジェの大好きなお兄ちゃんが爆発事故に巻き込まれないことを願ってるわ
Even I hope that Angie's beloved big brother doesn't get caught up in the explosion accident.
分かってるさ。
I know.
じゃあ、俺は礼拝堂に戻るぜ。
Then, I'll head back to the chapel.
ルドルフさん
Rudolph-san,
なんで
What?
バトラ君が納得しなかった
If you can't convince Battler-kun?
分かってる
I know.
その時はズドンで
If that happens, bang.
バトラ君は私との再婚に抗議して家を飛び出すくらいに行動力のある子よ
Battler-kun is independent enough that he left the family out of protest when I married you, remember?
中途半端な丸め込み方で後日に色々と騒がれたら
If you can only convince him halfway, and if things get nasty later on,
彼は私たちの命取りになるのよ
he'll prove fatal to us.
分かってな
I know.
俺を信じろ
Believe in me.
もし
And if
バトラ君が不信感を持ってると私が判断したなら
I decide that Battler-kun is growing suspicious,
その時は私の手で殺すわよ
I'll kill him myself.
私の子供じゃないんだから
He's not my kid after all.
あ
Yeah,
あ分かってる
I know. Man, this is even sadder when you consider Battler's favorite phrase, his favorite smart tactic of spinning the chessboard around, came from Kairi, the originator of the chessboard spinning. She's like, yeah, I'll kill him.
だからキリエ
Yeah, I know. So,
一つだけ約束してくれ
promise me one thing, Kairi.
何
What's that?
もしバトラーをうまく丸め込めて島から3人で出られた
If I can trick Battler and the three of us make it off this island?
出られ
If that happens, what?
バトラのことを二度と私の子供じゃないみたいなことを言うな
Never say that Battler isn't your kid again.
お前は母なんだから
After all, you're his mother.
頼む
Please.
いいわ約束してあげる
So, wow. So he's like, if I convince Battler, if I either trick him or he's totally fine with us murdering everyone else we know, then he deserves to not have so much hate. Please, Kairi. Sure, I promise. Kairi shrugged and answered as she loaded bullets.
あなたは礼拝堂へ
You go to the chapel.
私はバトラ君が出て行った頃を見計らってゲストハウスの連中をすべて片付けるわ
I'll wait until Battler-kun has left, and then clean up everything inside the guest house.
大丈夫か一人で
Are you sure you'll be okay doing that alone?
そっちこそ
That's my line. Ballard left the guest house under an umbrella. He had been called to the area in front of the chapel, just like George had been. Not even 30 minutes had passed since the time George and Jessica had been called out. Apparently, this test didn't last too long.
クソじじいめ
Damn, geezer.
昼飯にさえ姿を出さなかったくせにこんな
First,
時間にのこのこ現れてテストだとは恐れ入るぜ
first, you never come out.
引きこもり生活で昼夜が逆転してやがるに違いね
Not even for lunch. And then you show up in the middle of the night with a test.
引きこもり生活で昼夜が逆転してやがるに違いね
I'll bet living as a shut-in's got a sense of day and night all backwards. Complaining all the way, Battler strolled off into the rain. Almost immediately, he was swallowed up by the darkness of the rose garden, passed out of sight. And then, Kairi could be seen coming out from the darkness of the rose garden. Her right hand held a gun, her left an umbrella. Her inner pocket contained the master keyring she had stolen from Goda. Her right pocket had a handful of bullets. Her left held a knife she had taken from the kitchen. She was a carefully and perfectly outfitted murderer. Another bolt of lightning struck down from the swirling skies. It lit up only half of Kairi's face. Her cheek was still covered with Jessica's blood. Under the eaves, Kairi folded up her umbrella, smiled, and spoke to no one.
ただいま、みんな。
Hey everyone, I'm home. Rudolph could be seen under the eaves of the chapel. He had hidden his gun in the nearby shadows and was now smoking a cigarette.
あの単細胞を騙すなんて簡単なもんさ。
Should be easy to trick that, dimwit.
うまくいかなきゃそれだけの話だぜ。
And if it doesn't work, that's just too bad. He glanced over at the place he had stowed his gun. The cigarette smoke began to pleasantly cloud his mind. Battler isn't a kid anymore. He's an adult who can choose his path through life as he pleases. When animals grow up, it's normal for them to form a group and go on a journey. Humans are the only ones that keep treating their young like kids, even after they get big.
こんなことなら
If I'd known it'd come to this,
お前に土下座なんかするんじゃなかったな。
I never would have begged for you to come back.
お前を連れ戻して後悔してるぜ。
I regret dragging you back into the family. He puffed out those words, along with the smoke. When Battler came, he didn't intend to voice those regrets of his. Rudolph was already determined to play the part of the evil murderer who kills for money.
遅えな。
He's still not here.
まだ来ねえのか。
What's taking him so long? At that moment, he heard the sound of someone stepping on gravel. He looked up, thinking that Battler had finally arrived, but the sound had come from the direction opposite of the mansion. Yeah, let's go! Rudolph,
よくも
how could you?
よくもうちの人を
Do that to my husband?
姉貴生きてたのか。
Aneki. So, you're alive.
残念で生きてたわよ。
Sorry that I'm alive.
お会いに行くね。
Too bad!
でもうちの人はダメだったわ。
But my husband wasn't so lucky.
よく
How could you?
よくも
How could you? With a face obscured by anger and tears, Eva slowly walked closer, her gun raised. Her husband had been killed right in front of her. She probably wouldn't even hesitate. Realizing that the gun, quivering with anger, was pointed right at his chest, Rudolph backed away. As he pretended to retreat, he approached the gun he had hidden in the shadows.
お落ち着けよ姉貴。
Calm down, Aneki.
その銃を下ろせって。
Put the gun down.
俺だってあんなことを望んだわけじゃない。
I never wanted that to happen.
突然のことで俺にもどうしようもなかったんだ。
Everything happened so fast. There was nothing I could do.
いい加減なことを言わないで。
How can you tell such half-baked lies? As Eva had said, it really had been a half-baked, pointless thing to say. Rudolph would have said anything if he thought it would calm Eva's emotions before she pulled the trigger, which she looked capable of doing at any moment now. Then, Rudolph's foot came in contact with his gun.
とにかく話をしよ
Oh, let's just talk this over.
う。もうじきジョージ君も来るはずだ。
George-kun should be here soon. Oh.
いやジョージ君ここだここだ。
His best acting job. Hey, George-kun, we're over here. Rudolph waved as though George was coming from behind Eva. Let Eva's attention turn in that direction. That idiot. My simple big sister has always been a sucker. Die. Gunfire. Then, a bit later, the sound of something heavier than rain drip dropping onto the cobblestone. Oh, he thought she was an idiot.
ルドルフ
Rudolph?
あんたの小細工なんて昔からお見通しよ。
I've always been able to see through your tricks. Well, there goes my whole thing about Kyrie having to kill Rudolph, you know? The bullet Eva fired went straight into Rudolph's chest. The bullet Rudolph fired at Eva missed, landing near her feet.
やっぱ
Guess I was
この銃
right.
狙いが下に
This gun
ずれてるぜ。
does shoot low. He dropped the gun into a puddle with a splash, staggered backwards, and leaned against the wall of the chapel. Oh, one thing we didn't, like, check. Did we get, like... No? Great. Okay. Never mind.
ちげえな。
No, that's not it.
悪党の弾は外れるってのが西部劇のお約束じゃねえか。
All good westerns end with the bad guy's bullet missing. Eva dashed up to him, kicked away the gun that had fallen into a puddle, and grabbed Rudolph by the collar.
ジョージは
What about George?
ジョージはどこ？
Where is he?
ジョージは殺させないわよ。
I won't let you kill him.
悪いな。兄貴
Yeah, well, about that. Sorry, Aneki.
もうやっちまった。
Already got him.
嘘よ。
Liar.
向こうの茂みでやった。
Did it in the bushes over there.
行けよ。
Go, take a look.
すぐわかる。
You'll see soon.
ルドルフ、
Rudolph?
あんた。
You? Eva, who claimed to know all of her little brother's tricks, also knew that Rudolph's final words, as his consciousness began to fade through thanks to the bullet wound, were not a lie.
よくもジョージを。ジョージを。
How could you? George. An empty shell casing bounced off the cobblestone. The furious gun barrel was pressed against Rudolph's forehead.
撃てよ。
Go ahead and shoot.
それくらいで気は晴れねえだろうが。
I doubt that'll bring you much peace, though. Bam! Battler shows up, and he's like, what? A bolt of lightning turned everything white. However, the wall of the chapel was stained blood red. A red splash, like a crushed tomato, came out from the back of Rudolph's head and covered the wall. Oh, I just now put this together. Battler is gonna see this and be like... Oh, he's not... I mean, is he gonna believe Eva? If Eva says, hey... Oh, no. Oh, no! Anyways, a red splash like a crushed tomato came out from the back of Rudolph's head and covered the wall. Then, leaving a red trail behind him, Rudolph sagged downwards, sat on the ground, and fell over.
ジョージ、ジョージ、
George! George!
ジョージ。
I can't replicate that. Just that. Eva dashed off towards the bushes. She found George's corpse almost immediately, screamed, and broke down sobbing. Rudolph's bloody corpse was exposed to the rain that ran down off the eaves. His eyes were still wide open. A fist-sized, flesh-covered hole was open in the back of his head, and his insides were exposed to the open air. Inside was a mixed jelly of flesh, brains, and spinal fluid. Jesus Christ. That goop, which looked like someone had mixed it up with a spoon, dripped from his eyes, nose, ears, mouth, and the hole in his head.
お父さん、お父さん。
Dad. Dad. Angie clutched at her head, sobbing and moaning. Her father had dirtied his hands with murder over money, and on top of that, he had faced such a cruel end, and Angie had been forced to see his corpse. It was hard to imagine a more painful experience for a daughter to go through. I'm totally fed up with this. It's completely meaningless.
ベルンカステルさん、
Burn Castell-san,
いるんでしょう、どこかに。
I know you're here somewhere.
もうこのゲームをやめてください。
Please, make this game stop.
何の意味もない。
There's no point to it. As if in answer to that yell, a black shadow appeared a few seats in front of them. I don't think it's Bernie. Goop mentioned in Umineko. True! Oh, there's Bernie, never mind. Or perhaps she was sitting there the whole time. Maybe we just couldn't see her until we were aware of her. It was, without a doubt, the back of Burn Castell's head.
ベルンカステルさん。
Burn Castell-san,
うるさいわよ。
pipe down back there.
静かに鑑賞できないの？
Can't you watch the show quietly? The witch turned around with bored eyes, as though the two people yelling were the strange ones.
もうやめてください。
Please stop this.
この世界が10月4日から5日の間の閉ざされた猫箱の世界だということは私たちも理解しています。
We realize that this is the sealed Catbox world of October 4th and 5th. The games are like messages, or maybe more like a roundabout love letter. A single message can be conveyed over several games. But now, we understand. We know that endless tales can seep out of the sealed 2-day Catbox. And beyond that, I even know the culprit and the motive. That has already been revealed, and it doesn't even have anything to do with this game.
猫箱の物語という回を私たちは2人とも得ているんです。
We both know the answer, that this is a Catbox tale.
だからこれ以上このようなゲームを繰り返す理由はないはずです。
So, there shouldn't be any need for any further games.
もしこれがあなたと私たちのゲームだというなら私たちはすでに答えを得ている。
If this is supposed to be a game between you and us, then we already know the answer.
ゲームは終了していいはずです。
The game should be over.
うっさいわよあんた。
We haven't seen Lambda in quite some time, it feels like. Just shut up already.
静かにしろってベルンが言ってんでしょ。
Didn't you hear Burn to tell you to be quiet? Another shadow appeared in the next seat over, turned around, and scolded the pair.
意味ならあるわよ。
There is a point.
見てればわかるわ。
If you just watch, you'll see it.
ゲームマスターはあなたですか？
Are you the game master?
違うわよ。
Not at all.
では誰が？
Then who is it?
まさかクレルが？
Could it be Claire?
見ていればわかるわ。
If you watch, you'll see.
すぐにね。
Not much longer now. I mean, it's got to be our boy, yeah. it's got to be. This feels like it's building up. That this is some I don't know if I read. Not much longer now. Giggle, giggle.
もう惨劇もクライマックスだわ。
The tragedy has already reached its climax.
生き残るのはどっちかしら。
Who will survive, I wonder? Burn Castell isn't the game master? Then who is? Could Claire have created this cruel tale? Or are there even more witches playing around with this Catbox? It's Maria. The guest house was wrapped in silence. There were no sounds, no trace of anyone's presence, no breathing from anyone alive. There wasn't anything to be heard anymore. If anything could be heard, it was the sound of the murderer's feet stepping across the floor. Kyrie slowly passed through the lounge. In her right hand was a gun. In her left hand was a knife. The knife was stained with blood and some was still dripping from the tip, leaving behind red tracks like a demon's footprints. Her hands were filled with tools of murder, so she wasn't capable of doing anything but murder. In that sense, at that moment, she was clearly purely a murderer. The murderer went to the entrance hall, and then, only after reaching the front door, looked down to see the two bloodstained hands of a killer. That's what I'm saying. Something that Umineko has a chance of doing the funniest thing ever right now. Those hands gripped the tools of death that had performed a cruel massacre. Then, at last, the murderer realized that it wouldn't even be possible to open the door like this, and tossed aside the knife. Then, the murderer reached out to the door, turned around calmly, and spoke.
ごめんね、みんな。
Sorry, everyone.
でも安心してね。
But don't worry.
数日後、新聞は不幸な事故を掲載するわ。
A few days later, the newspapers will be talking about an unfortunate accident.
そしてあなたたちは事故の瞬間まで何も知らずに楽しく過ごしていたに違いないと新聞もニュースも噂する人々も言うでしょうね。
And I'm sure the news shows, the papers, and rumor mongers everywhere will be sure that you spent your time in happy ignorance until the instant of the accident.
それはつまりあなたたちは10月5日の24時まで楽しく過ごしていたということ。
In other words, you'll all have had a good time until midnight on October 5th. So said the one who had stained that bloody guest house red.
この時間にはいとこ同士で楽しくはしゃいで夜更かしをしている。
At this hour, the cousins are all staying up late and playing around.
そして朝が早い使用人の人は高いびき。
And the servants who have to get up early are all snoring.
おそばの人は日誌でも書いて、あるいはほっと一息を入れてる頃でしょうね。
The ones on the late shift are probably filling in the log or taking a break about now.
そういうことなの。
That's how it is.
ここでこうしていると、いとこ部屋での大はしゃぎが聞こえてくるようだわ。
From where I am now, I can hear laughter coming from the cousin room. Giggle. Humans outside the cat box would probably never understand what Kyrie was saying. Only she, shut inside the cat box of the explosion accident, could know what it really meant. Outside, the rain poured down heavily. Kyrie almost picked up an umbrella, but then stopped suddenly, as if she just thought of something. Then, she started walking out into the rain, not caring at all whether she got wet or not. Did the murderer not want an umbrella to get in the way of her gun? Or was she hoping that the rain could act as a shower to get the blood off her? Kyrie stopped walking, as though something unexpected had caught her attention. However, this time, it was no whim of hers.
うちの人。
Eva's revenge. How could you?
よくも殺したわね。
Kill my husband?
あ
Oh,
ら、エヴァ姉さん、
Eva-ni-san.
ショックだわ。
That's surprising.
あの距離で外してたなんて。
How could I have missed you from that distance?
私も驚いてるわ。
I'm just as surprised.
まさか自分が生きてたなんてね。
I didn't think I'd survive.
礼拝堂裏の地下階段から戻ってきたの。
You came here from the underground stairway behind the chapel, right?
なら、
In that case...
ええ、
That's right.
礼拝堂の前でルドルフにも会ったわ。
I bumped into Rudolph in front of the chapel.
元気そうだっ
And how was he doing?
た？ええ。
Oh, just wonderful.
兄弟で久しぶり。仲良く語り合った。
We managed to have a friendly sibling chat for the first time in a while.
そう
I see.
目立ちたがり屋なのにここ一番で頼りない人
He's such a show-off, but so unreliable in a tight spot.
やっぱりあの人は私がいないとダメなの
Looks like he can't do anything without me after all. After that short exchange of words, Kyrie already knew that Rudolph had been killed. However, no trace of urgency or panic rose to her face. She just closed her eyes with her usual unconcerned expression. And when she opened them again, she had regained her composed smile.
ありがと
Thank you.
う感謝する
I'm grateful.
これで本当に私が全てを独り占めに
This way, I really can have everything to myself.
その服の血は何？
What's that blood on your clothes?
あんたゲストハウスから出てきたわね。
You just came out of the guest house, didn't you?
まさか。
Don't tell me.
ええそうよ
Yes, that's right.
今私殺人事件の真っ最中なの
I'm right in the middle of a murder case at the moment.
殺したの？
You killed them?
みんな。
All of them?
マリアちゃんまで？
Even Maria-chan?
生かして朝を迎える理由がないわ
There was no need to let them live until morning.
朝になれば騒ぎになって面倒になる
When morning came, there would be an uproar, and that could be a pain.
無線で島の外に連絡したり助けを求めたりするかもしれない
They might have used a radio to contact someone off the island and gotten help.
だからこれが極めてベストなの
So, this was clearly the optimal move to take.
チェス盤をひっくり返して考えればね
If you spin the chessboard around and look at it that way, right?
人でなし。
Monster!
金に目がくらんで人の命を奪うなんて。
I can't believe you could be so blinded by greed that you'd commit murder.
あなただってうまいことやったわ
I mean, I was literally just about to say, like, honestly, Eva? Rewind just a while back? You weren't doing so bad yourself?
あれは事故よ。
That was an accident.
殺すつもりなんてなかった。
I didn't mean to kill them.
あんたとは違うの。
Unlike you.
違わないわよ
No, just like me.
もし銃の暴発が起こらなければあなたたちはいつまでも口論的な組合を続けていたわ
If that gun hadn't gone off, you would have kept on arguing and jumping at each other.
そうすればあなたたちも数手遅れで私と同じ答えに行き着いたは
Then the rest of you would have eventually reached the same answer as me, just a few steps slower.
私は殺人鬼じゃないわ。
I'm not a murderer.
ずいいえ
Not true.
なり損ねただけの立派な殺人鬼よ
You're just a murderer who didn't get a chance.
エヴァ姉さんは暴発に救われただけ
You've just been saved by that accidental discharge.
あの幸運がなければそして私があなたより先に実行に移さなければ
If it weren't for that bit of good luck, and if I hadn't moved before you did,
あなたが私の役をやって
then you would have played the same role I'm playing now.
いたそれだけは
Also, hello.
あなたがいくら否定しようとも変わらない異なる未来の真実な
That fact won't go away, no matter how much you try to deny it. It's the truth of a different future.
わけのわからないこと言わないで。
Don't try and confuse me! However, on the inside, Ava understood. Back then, she had probably been saved by that accidental discharge, by coincidence. If the argument had continued much longer, she would surely have grown a desire to kill Kraus and the others, and might even have carried it out. She simply could not deny the existence of that demon deep within her heart. Only the theater-goers knew. They knew that she could become a killer in another world. Kyrie, who didn't have the theater-going ability, knew this fact as well. Maybe there really was something extraordinary about her after all. So, for some time, Eva could only grind her teeth in silence, still pointing her gun.
私にはわからないわ。
I don't understand.
あなたも自分のお腹を痛めて子を産んだ経験を持つ母のはず。
You're also a mother. You felt the pain of giving birth to your own child.
命の尊さを知らないわけがない。
How can you not know how precious a life is?
そのあなたがどうしてこれだけのことができるの？
How are you capable of doing all this?
子供なんて勝手にできるわ。
That's the thing about kids. If you just sleep around, they get made all by themselves. What a statement to make, honestly.
そういう話じゃないでしょ。
Wild, Kyrie. Kyrie, you're crazy for that one. Kyrie, you're crazy. That's not what I'm talking about.
子はかすがいって言うわよね。
They say that children are bonds, right?
それが何？
What?
子は夫をつなぎ止めておくためのかすがいなの。
Children are bonds used to tie you to your husband.
ルドルフさんに私のことを認めさせ、あの女から彼を取り戻すためのかすがいだった。
She was a bond to make Rudolph-san acknowledge me, so I could take him back from that woman.
でもルドルフさんはあなたが殺したわ。
But you've killed Rudolph-san now.
だったらわかるでしょ。
You understand what that means, right?
わかる。
What do you mean?
どういう意味？
I understand.
私はもう
Just that right now.
誰かの妻でもないし、母のつもりもないということよ。
I'm the wife of no man, and I have no intention of being a mother.
私は私。
I am me,
キリエ、
Kyrie.
ルドルフさんが死んだ今、後ろ宮でさえないわ。
Now that Rudolph-san's dead, I'm not even in Ishiromiya anymore.
私は私の得になるように生きる。
I live to benefit me.
ルドルフは死んで、あんたは妻ではなくなったかもしれない。
Right. Rudolph is dead, so maybe you aren't a wife anymore.
エンジェちゃんがいるでしょ。
But you still have Angie-chan, don't you?
あんたはまだ母であり続けるはずよ。
You're still a mother, aren't you?
言ったでしょ、かすがいって。
Didn't you hear what I just said about bonds?
ルドルフさんがいなくなって今、エンジェは私にとって必要なものじゃないわ。
Now that Rudolph-san is gone, Angie is of no use to me. Oh. You...
それが母親が子に対して言うことなの？
How can any mother say that about her own daughter?
ネバ姉さん、
Ivani-san,
やめましょうよ。
let's put a stop to this.
綺麗事は
We can be honest here.
綺麗事？
Honest?
私たちって子供が欲しくて結婚したの？
Did either of us marry because we wanted children?
違う
Uh-oh.
でしょ。
We didn't, right?
好きな男と一緒に暮らしたいから結婚したんでしょ。
We married because we wanted to live with the man we loved.
そして結婚したんなら、その男を一生手放したくないと思うでしょ。
And once you've married, you never want to let that man go for the rest of your life, correct?
子供はそのための武器じゃない。
Children are just weapons to be used for that goal. Okay. Kyrie is spouting like, I don't know what else kind of term to give it, but almost like the made up misogynistic rhetoric that like the old heads, like, you know, dudes, men would say, like, oh, like it's along the lines of like the old ball and chain or something along the lines, where it's like Like, it's like a problematic, like, toxic, like, view of of having a child with a person just to artificially not let that person go. It's kind of wild. It's kind of crazy. I'd never have children for a reason like that.
そんなこと考えて子供を作ることもできるの？
But people can have children for just that reason. Kyrie kept on speaking emotionlessly, ignoring the falling rain. Her relaxed smile didn't falter for an instant.
エンジェなんてルドルフさんを縛り付けるためのただの鎖。
Angie was just a chain I used to tie Rudolph's onto me.
あるいは家族ごっこをするための子供の役という名のか。
Or you could call her a chess piece, someone to play the role of the kid in our family drama.
私にとってエンジェはルドルフさんの前で良き母を演じるときに必要な駒なだけ。
To me, Angie was nothing more than a piece, necessary so that I could act the part of a good mother in front of Rudolph's son.
あんたそれをエンジェちゃんの前で言える？
You? Could you say that to Angie-chan's face?
さすがに気の毒だから本人には言わないわ。
That would be just a bit too sad, so I wouldn't say it to her directly.
悪いお母さんを許してねとでも書いて姿をくらますつもり。
I planned to write her a letter asking her to forgive her bad mother, then vanish from her life.
ローザさんとマリアちゃんを見ればわかるでしょ。
You've seen what Rosa-san and Maria-chan are like, right?
ルドルフさんがいない今、エンジェなんて私を縛る鎖なだけ。
Now that Rudolph's-san's gone, Angie's just a chain tying me down.
私は元のたった一人の切り絵に戻り、のんびりと余生を楽しむつもりよ。
I'll go back to being just Kyrie and enjoy the rest of my life at my leisure.
新しい挑戦、新しい人生。
A new challenge and a new life.
ひょっとしたら新しい恋もあるかもね。
And maybe even a new love.
それでも人間なの？
And you call yourself human.
それでもエンジェちゃんの母なの？
You call yourself Angie-chan's mother. Giggle. Giggle.
エンジェなんかしたことじゃないわよ。
Who gives a damn about Angie?
あんなクソガキ。
I've never liked
可愛いと思ったことなんて一度だってないわよ。
that little brat.
あんたって人は。
How can you?
あなただってもう家族ごっこから解放されたでしょ。
You've been released from your family drama too, haven't you?
謳歌しましょうよ。女の自由を。
Let's sing the praises of a woman's freedom.
感謝してほしいわ。ジョージ君も殺してあげたんだ。
Should thank me for having George Kun killed for you too.
人でなしが
You monster! Ah, yeah, whoa, whoa. The two yells and the sound of gunfire thundered across the dark rose garden. Slowly, Eva fell backwards. Then, she landed in a puddle, scattering countless drops of water. Across from her, Kyrie spun around as though dancing. Beautiful black rose petals scattered around her. The petals were a dark, dark red. As they sprayed from her throat, she spun around in a circle and slowly crumpled. Then she fell to the ground, sending muddy water flying. The two women had shot and fallen. However, when the thunder roared, only Eva sat back up. Eva hadn't been shot. Kairi's intensity had made her fall backwards, but the bullet had once again slipped right past her. She's insane. She's incredible. Eva cursed her good luck. Why couldn't this luck have saved her husband or her son?
エンジェちゃんのためそこで死になさい
Die there. For Angie-chan's sake as well.
あんたは爆発事故で死ぬ
You'll be killed in the explosion accident.
死ぬ直前の瞬間まで置いてきた娘のことを心配していた
Until the moment of your death, you worried about the daughter you left behind.
そう刻む
Yes.
猫箱の蓋の上にね
I'll write that into the lid of the cat box. When Kairi heard this, blood dripped from her grinning mouth, and she seemed to say something in response. However, her voice came out only as globs of blood from the hole in her throat, not words. Mom. Mom. It's a lie. It's all a lie.
Ange, どうか落ち着いて。
Angie, please calm down.
これはゲームです。
This is just a game.
あれがあなたのお母さんの本心のわけがない。
That couldn't possibly be what your mother truly feels.
女のゲームマスターはキリエおばさんの駒に言わせてるだけに過ぎません。
It's just something that the game master made Aunt Kairi's piece say. But saying that did nothing to calm Angie's sobs. I don't blame her. Even if she knows it's just a game, she's been forced to see not only her mother's death, but also her mother announcing that she was the culprit of a mass murder who didn't even love her own daughter. Anyone would sob after hearing that.
ベルーン・カステルさん、
Burn Castell-san,
もういい加減にしてください。
enough of this.
誰がゲームマスターだろうと知ったことじゃない。
I don't care who the game master is.
今すぐこの無意味なゲームを終わりにしてください。
Stop this pointless game right now. When Leon yelled this, the theater suddenly went pitch black, swallowed in darkness. However, that wasn't enough to shock Leon. Leon continued to yell Burn Castell's name into the darkness, telling the witch to stop this game. Then, a single beam of light shone down upon the stage. There was Claire, the one who had appeared for just a second right before this cruel game began.
フレル、
Claire,
やはりこれはあなたがゲームマスターだったのですか。
so, you were the game master after all?
わからない。どうして。
I don't get it. Why? Claire didn't answer. In fact, it looked as though she hadn't even heard. Her eyes were blank, and you couldn't tell what she was looking at. In fact, she was even forgetting to blink. She looked just like a doll. Then, another beam of light lit up the stage, or side of the stage. Beneath that light stood Burn Castell. At the same moment, though there appeared to be no one in the audience, a thunderous applause rang out. Burn Castell raised her right hand in response to the applause. She kept doing so until it died down.
ベルーン・カステルさん、
Burn Castell-san!
やはりあなたがこのゲームのマスターなんですか。
Keep guessing. So, you were the master of this game after all?
リオン
Leon.
私はゲームマスターじゃないと何度言えばわかるの
How many times do I have to tell you that I'm not the game master?
ではフレルだというのですか？
Then are you saying it's Claire?
そんなはずはない。
That's impossible.
ええ
Yep,
そんなはずはもちろんないよ
of course it's impossible.
だって
After all,
クレルは死んだもの
Claire died.
私たちはその葬儀に立ち会ったはずよ
We were just conducting her funeral.
忘れた
Did you forget that?
ではここに立っている彼女は一体。
Then just who is standing there?
死体よ
A corpse.
剥製じゃないの
She's not a mannequin.
だからもちろん中身がある
So, of course, she still has her insides.
綺麗な姿で隠しているけれど内側にはドロドロの腹渡に詰まっている
She's hiding it under a beautiful exterior, but she's actually packed full of guts. When Bernkastel raised her right hand, a light fell on it, and a black shining scythe appeared there. It was a cold, merciless, and cruel object, like something a classic Grim Reaper might hold.
何をする気ですか？
What are you planning to do?
生きてはそのあがきをめでる
When they're alive, you can enjoy watching them struggle.
死んでは綿をかき出してめでる
When they're dead, you can enjoy tearing out their guts.
物語は二度楽しめるのよ
Tales are things you get to enjoy twice.
それが感激の魔女というもの
That's what it means to be a witch of theater going. Bernkastel pressed the blade of her Reaper's scythe against Claire's stomach, and slowly slid it across. Then, along the line she traced, Claire's dress was sliced open. It was now clear that the scythe she held was not a fake one for theatrical use. And it was clear just what she planned to do next that made her cruel smile so fitting.
Ange
That's what I'm saying, man. Theater kids. Angie,
私の声が聞こえる
can you hear me?
聞こえてるわ。
I hear you.
私をクズ肉にしたり、本を読ませてみたり。
You tear me to bits, make me read.
今度は何？
What's next?
この最悪の物語を見せつけて、私を苦しめるわけね。
Are you showing me this worst possible tale to hurt me even more?
楽しい？
Is this fun for you?
ええ、楽しいでしょうね。
Yeah, I'll bet it is.
私も楽しませてもらったわよ。
I had a blast too.
これぐらいで、私が値を上げると思った。
You think I'd give up after that?
あんたの悪趣味なゲームに、これ以上泣き叫んでなんかやるもんですか？
You think I'll sit around crying any longer because of that disgusting game of yours?
あんたもそしてリオンも
Both you and Leon
二人とも勘違いをしているわ
seem to have the wrong idea.
私はゲームマスターなんかじゃない
I'm not the game master.
この物語も私が紡いだものなんかじゃない
This tale is not one that I created.
じゃあ、そこのドレスの女がゲームマスター？
Then that woman in the dress is the game master?
いいえ、違います。
No, she isn't.
そんなはずはないんです。
That can't be.
ならゲームマスターは誰です？
Then who is the game master?
誰がこの悪趣味な物語を紡いでいるんですか？
Who wove this disgusting tale?
まだわからないわ
You still don't understand?
何がわからないというのよ。
What don't we understand?
エンジ
Angie,
あなたはわずかな奇跡に全てをかけて身を投げ出してみせたわ
you gambled everything on a faint chance of a miracle, throwing yourself forward.
私はその勇気に敬意を表して1986年10月4日からの2日間の世界に招いてあげた
I invited you to October 4th and 5th of 1986, out of respect for your courage.
あなたの目的は何だった
I mean, I had said quite some time ago. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is my bet would be that this is Battler's doing. To try to explain stuff. Or whatever. I mean, that was my guess, right? What was your goal?
家族を連れ戻す
To take your family back.
それはとても難しいことで奇跡に愛されなければ到底ありえないことです
That would be a very difficult thing. And without the blessing of a miracle, a thoroughly impossible one. Basically, what I was saying was, like, this just... Not in a negative connotation way, but, like, just reeks of, like, somehow the hands of Battler being in this whole situation. It just seems like that's what it's kind of like somehow setting up. That would be a very difficult thing without the blessing of a miracle, a thoroughly impossible one.
それは覚悟していたわね
You were prepared for that, weren't you?
覚悟の上よ。
Yes, I'm prepared.
そして私はまだお兄ちゃんもお母さんもお父さんも諦めていない。
And I still haven't given up on Oni-chan, Mom and Dad.
諦めないのは勝手
Whether you give up is not your choice.
それはあなたのゲームだもの
That's your own game, after all.
私は応援しないし干渉もしない
I won't support you, and I won't even watch.
あなたという駒を使ったゲームを私はすでに十分楽しんだしあなたはもう私にとって用のない存在
I've already enjoyed my fill of games that use the piece you are, and so I have no need for you any longer.
せいせいするわね。
Glad to hear it.
ならどうして私はここにいるの？
Then why am I here?
招待したのはあんたじゃないの。
Aren't you the one who invited me?
ええそうよ
Yes, that's right.
招待したのは私
I invited you here.
私の駒としてひとときを楽しませてくれたそのお礼にね
To thank you for entertaining me for a while as my piece.
俺？
To thank me.
魔女式のってわけね。
So this is how witches show gratitude.
楽しませてもらったわよ、この下道が。
Sure. This has been loads of fun, you beast.
僕もお父さんやお母さんを
How could you make this kind?
こんな
This kind of game.
こんなゲームに。
And do that to mom and dad and mom.
エンジ
Angie,
あなたは家族を連れ戻すことを願って
you made a wish, hoping to take your family back.
でももう一つ願っていたわ
However, you also made another wish.
覚えてる
Remember?
覚えてないわよ。
No, I don't.
あの日何があったかを知ることよ
You wanted to know what happened on that day. What happened on Rokujima on October 4th and 5th, 1986? Didn't Angie leave on her journey with Amakusa because she longed to answer that question?
そうだったわね。
That's right.
それが何？
So what's your your point?
そんなバカな。
You don't mean... Leon realized what Bernkristell was getting at. Realized and was unable to say any more. The game master is neither Bernkristell nor Claire. Then who is it? That's the wrong question. There is no game master. That can mean only one thing.
エンジ
Angie,
まだわからないの
you still don't understand?
何がよ。
I mean, if that's the case, I kind of already had that feeling for a while. Because I was like, okay, why would they have put Angie to witness the kind of things? And from what we know of Angie's, like, when we got the Angie slice of life, back when she was like with Amakusa, and she was like, she had her moment with Eva, you know, and she was like, oh, what happened on that, you know, time or whatever. Like, I think that really solidified for me. I had the idea, and then I was like, that really solidified for me when Eva ended up not dying in the gold room. When Eva comes back and she's not dead, then I was like, oh, okay, so this is clearly going on that track of like of Angie's reality, right? Where what Eva lives on, that whole deal. So, like, to me, that got solidified. It felt solidified that this was Angie's reality when Eva didn't actually end up dying and she was just grazed by the bullet or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Angie says, what?
これが真実なのよ。
This is the truth.
1986年10月4日からの2日間の猫箱の中身よ。
The insides of the cat box of October 4th and 5th, 1986. I guess the only thing that I was also additionally thinking was that it's like, oh, who's the game master? And they're like, it's no game master because this is just what happened. And then it's like, oh my god. I guess for some reason in my head, I was thinking that this was somehow Battler had his hands in this, trying to show. Like, for some reason in my head, I thought Battler was wanting to be like, Angie, this is what happened. Like, I thought for some reason in my head, I thought it was something where, like, Battler wanted to show Angie what had happened for whatever reason. You know, big bro just showing you how shitty your parents are or something. This is the truth. The insides of the cat box of October 4th and 5th, 1986.
この後、エヴァはクワドリアンで爆発を逃れて生き残るわ。
Afterwards, Eva survived the explosion by escaping to Quadorian.
そして猫箱の中身を欲するあなたに最後の瞬間まで沈黙を貫くことでこの真実を永遠に猫箱に閉ざして。
And, since she never spoke of the inside of the cat box, no matter how much you wanted to know, that truth was shut within the cat box for all eternity. What are you saying?
エヴァ一人が生還する。
Only Eva returned alive.
いくら警察が事故だと断定しても世間は納得しようとしなかったわ。
Even though the police claimed it was an accident, the public didn't believe it.
そして亡き夫に代わり会社を切り盛りしようと張り切れば張り切るほどに敵を作る。
Then, she took over her husband's company, and the harder she worked to make it more and more successful, the more enemies she made.
彼女が壮大な陰謀の女王であるかのようなイメージを作り上げていく。
A public image of her as a great queen of conspiracy grew stronger and stronger.
彼女は真実を語りたかったでしょうね。
I'm sure she wanted to tell people about the truth.
語ったとて証拠もなく誰も信じない真実。
That truth that no one would ever believe without proof.
エヴァの心が次第に壊れていく。
Bit by bit, Eva's heart began to snap.
あなたもエヴァを拒絶し、エヴァもあなたを拒絶するようになった。
You rejected Eva, so she rejected you in turn.
歪み切った最後の肉親同士の関係。
The relationship between the last two members of your family was strained to the limit.
愛息子の面影をあなたに重ねては苦悩し、ますます歪んで壊れて。
Each time she compared you with her beloved son, she grew more and more twisted and broken. Then, a strange message bottle was picked up and became a topic of conversation. It contained a bizarre story, one that told of a mysterious serial murder connected to Rokenjima's gold. Everyone rejected the explosion accident theory and started to think up conspiracy theories. Some of those theories named Eva as the culprit, which tormented her even more. However, Eva used even that to build up the cat box. And until the moment of her death, she protected it. She protected the lock that held the cat box shut. So, no human would ever reach the truth inside the cat box. Not unless those witches who crossed the sea of fragments opened the lock.
これが真実。
This is the truth.
嘘よ。
You're lying.
嘘よ。嘘よ。
You're lying. Lying!
これが本当に真実だって言うなら言えるはずだわ。赤き真実で。
If this really is the truth, you should be able to say so in red.
言えるわけない。言えるわけがないのよ。
There's no way you can. Of course there isn't. Angie tantrum. Angie!
エンジェ、落ち着いて。
Angie, calm down! Angie writhed with such strength that the chains of her arms and legs looked like they might snap. all over her body. A red, gooey liquid started to seep out. Oh god. It was as though cracks had opened all over her, and blood was leaking out of all of them.
何？
What's that?
赤き真実ではっきり宣言してあげた方がいいの？
You want me to announce it clearly with the red truth?
なら言ってあげるわ。赤き真実で。
Then I'll say it just for you.
これはすべて真実。
Oh. Fuck. Angie's yell covered up Burns' red truth. If it wasn't 100% clear, I didn't like accidentally click over Burn Castell's red truth there. The game auto did that. Just in case it's not 100% clear.
バカな子。
Stupid kid.
私にそれを言わせなければ猫箱の中に封じ込めておけたのに。
If only you hadn't made me say that, you could have shut it up inside the cat box.
でもあなたはそう言うわよね。
But you just had to ask, right?
分かってたよ。もち
I knew you would, of course.
ろん。そしてその絶叫に歪む顔が見たかった。
And I so wanted to see you scream like that.
100年は思い出すだけで笑えるような素敵な形相だったわよ。
A lovely expression like that should keep me laughing for about 100 years. Giggle times 2, comma, giggle times 4.
戻りなさい。クズ肉に。
Go back to being scrap meat. No, 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 don't turn her back to a burger, please. Please, for the love of God. Mom! Dad!
こんなのは嘘よね。
It's a lie, right?
嘘。
Lies!
嘘。
Lies! Ange! Ange! As Angie held her head and screamed, the blood dripping from her finally grew so thick that it started scattering all over the place. Then, bit by bit, her body began to melt. No, to fall apart. Jesus. Then, bits of her began to pile up on the chair, until she was nothing but a pile of guts and scraps. No! Honestly, Angie, and she points it out herself. Angie, and it's sad because Angie knows she has the worst luck out of like all these characters. She's like, God, this happens to me, and then this fucking happens to me, and then I get brought over here, and then this fucking thing happens to me. I feel so bad for Angie. It's so bad. That was my best.
真実ってそんなにも尊いものなの？
Is the truth really that sacred?
バカらしい、愚かしい。
How absurd. How foolish.
どうして人間は真実を自在にできないのかしら。
Why can't humans control their own truth?
バカみたいにそれだけを追い求め、そして目の当たりにして耐えられず、自らクズ肉となり果てる。
They stupidly search for the truth like that's all that matters, And when they finally find it and can't stand it, they turn themselves into scrap meat.
ねえ、見えてる？
True. In my life, every time I find out the truth, I also turn into scrap meat. And that is why I strive to remain 100% ignorant in my life. All the time. For fear. Hey, are you watching?
クレル、
Claire?
あなたもまたこの真実を隠したかったのよね。
You wanted to hide this truth too, didn't you?
あなたは戯れに憧れる推理小説のラストのように
For fun, you wrote several Catbox tales.
メッセージボトルに封じるつもりで猫箱の物語をいくつも書いていた。
And planned to seal them in message bottles like the end of a mystery novel you loved.
それをあなたは海に投じたわ。
Then, you threw them into the sea.
この真実を知ったら苦しむだろう者を救うためにね。
To save those who would suffer if they knew this truth.
あなたが猫箱で閉ざし、エヴァがそれを錠前で閉じた。
You sealed everything in a cat box, and Eva provided the lock. Giggle, giggle.
その箱を私が切り裂いてあげたわ。
And I've sliced that box open for you.
あんたが隠したすべてが無駄。
All that effort you spent to hide it has gone to waste.
あんたが死んで隠した真実をすべて暴き出してやったわ。
I've exposed all the truth you hid with your death.
それがあなたの目的だったというのですか？
Is that what you've been after?
あなたはクレルの死を恥ずかしめるためだけにこのようなことをしたというのですか？
You did all this just to mock Claire's death?
そしてそれをエンジに見せて苦しめて、
And then you showed it to Angie to make her suffer?
やはりあなたは邪悪な魔女だった。
You really were an evil witch after all.
私は最初から魔女よ。
I've been a witch the whole time.
退屈から逃れることだけが目的の旅人。
A traveler whose only goal was to escape boredom.
生きてはめでて、死しては食らって二度目出る。
Care for it and love it while it's alive, and eat the guts when it's dead.
それが魔女の生き様よ。
That's how witches live.
私にはあなたが許せない。
I cannot forgive you for what you've done.
エンジェを苦しめ、クレルの異なる世界の私を恥ずかしめた。
You've hurt Angie and humiliated Claire, the person I would become in another world.
私はあなたが許せない。
I won't forgive you.
リオン、
Leon,
それでもクレルにとってあなたは希望なのよ。
you're still Claire's hope,
死してなおね。
even after her death.
クレルは崖より投じられた時、すでに運命の袋小路に閉じ込められていた。
From the moment Claire got thrown off that cliff, her fate was already sealed.
そんな彼女にとってあなたというもう一人の自分が
I'm sure she felt a little bit of salvation.
異なる世界では幸せに生きていたことを知れたのはさぞや救いになったでしょうね。
To know that another her lives in happiness in another world.
そうです。
That's right.
私は彼女の救いなんです。
I'm her salvation.
だから彼女の分まで一生懸命に幸せに生きなければならないんです。
So, I must live life to the fullest for the both of us.
リオン、
Leon,
もう少しだけこの真実の物語を見せてあげるわ。
let me show you just a bit more of this tale of the truth.
興味はありません。
I'm not interested.
いいえ、きっと面白いはずよ。
No, it'll be very interesting.
エヴァとキリエの決闘が終わり、静寂に包まれるゲストハウス。
After the duel between Eva and Kyrie, the guest house is wrapped in silence.
その頃の客間へあなたを招待するわ。
Let me invite you to the parlor at some point in time.
客間、
The parlor?
屋敷の。
The one in the mansion? Wow, 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 wow. burnt Cassell snapped her fingers, and the scene of the mansion's parlor unfolded before them. In the cruel tale they had just been shown, the parlor hadn't been particularly important. Jessica had been summoned to the parlor, but she was then immediately led to the dining hall and killed there. So, there hadn't been anything to see in the parlor. And, in fact, there was nothing to see in the parlor now appearing before Leon.
ここに一体何があるというのですか?
I'll watch the VOD later, but I forgot what happens to Battler in this tale. Well, we didn't see, technically, right? Is that what you're getting at? Because Battler was supposed to run into Rudolph, but obviously that didn't happen. Eva got there first. Eva kills Rudolph. Then Eva leaves. So then Eva goes to see Kairi and confronts Kairi. So then, in theory, Battler would have just saw his dead dad. And then what he does from there would be a complete mystery. Just what's supposed to be here? No, I know it wasn't a leading question. No, I gotcha. I got the tone and everything. No, but I was just recounting. Like, as far as we know, the only thing that should have happened was that, again, unless his journey took him to some other point or something, in theory, he would have seen his dead dad. But he wouldn't have seen who killed him or why he's dead. I think at the time when it was happening here just earlier today, I was like, oh shit, I thought he was going to run into Eva. And all he was going to see was going to be Eva over his dad's dead body. But honestly, because it was so wrapped in mystery and kind of cut away, maybe he did run into Eva and we just don't know. So that's also a possibility. I mean, depending on when Eva left to then go confront Kairi is where is basically the things. Does Eva leave to go confront Kairi before Battler runs into them? Or does she leave, or is she still there when Battler gets there? Both situations bad for different reasons, probably. Just what's supposed to be here. Giggle.
見ての通り、何もないわ。
As you can see, there's nothing here.
でも見ていて。
But watch.
面白いものを今から見せてあげるから。
I'm about to show you something interesting. Also, I don't know if it's actually gonna matter, but like, we were just told, I think we were supposed to just infer that Kairi killed Maria because she was asked, hey, did you kill Maria? But, and I noticed this at the time, and now I'm going to say it now, we didn't actually get to see Maria killed by Kairi. Now, is that just because they don't want to show Kairi, like, is it, I don't want to say necessarily in bad taste, but, you know, is it in bad taste to show Kairi just killing Maria, the child? Or is that going to be a thing here? You know, a thing. Just Maria or all the people in the guest house? Yeah, I guess I was thinking, yeah, I to be honest, not to you know, throw more hate onto maybe all those 4.5 Nanjo fans out there, but I wasn't even honestly thinking about Nanjo. We saw Goda dead with the you know, we saw that scene with Rudolph, him dead, but I guess, yeah, technically, like, Nanjo, Kumasawa should have been somewhere, whether they're dead or not. But my main point was that all I wanted to point out is we didn't get to see Maria actually die. And to me, even though I hate her, Maria's status is much more interesting to me than Nanjo. Okay, as you can see, there's nothing here, but watch. I'm about to show you something interesting.
あなたが言う面白いものが言葉通りの意味のわけがない。
If you call it interesting, that's a sure sign that it isn't.
ほら、ごらんなさい。
Go on, take a look.
そっちよ。
It's right there.
そ そっちの部屋の隅。
Right in that corner. What's the wildest thing that could happen right now? It's Erica. Furuto, Erica is crumpled in the corner for some reason. Sakataro in his stuffed bear form. Burnkizel was pointing at nothing more than a corner of the room. There was nothing there. She had told Leon to look there, so the latter was expecting something terrible to be there. But there really was nothing there at all. It's the fact that nothing is there. It's not that something is there, it's that something should be there, and it's not! Question mark? Question mark?
そうね。何もないわ。
That's right. There's nothing there.
この世界ではね。
At least, not in this world.
でも隣り合うかけらを覗くとどうかしらね。
But what if we peek into the next fragment over? But on the white blank wall, bit by bit, a splash of blood seeped into view. Then, right there, a corpse appeared. But that couldn't be.
これは
This is...
私
me? It was Leon, lying dead against the wall. Ishiromiya Leon's corpse lay there exposed.
どういうことですかこれは
What's going on here?
どうして私がここに
Why am I here?
この世界は私でなくクレルの世界のはず
This is supposed to be Claire's world, not mine.
私とクレルは同時に存在できないはずです
Claire and I can't exist at the same time, right?
ええ、そうよ。
Yes, that's right.
だから今世界をかけらを移ったの。
That's because I just switched worlds, switched fragments.
あなたの世界にね。
Switched to your world, that is.
意味がわかりません
I don't understand.
つまりはこういうことよ。
It's very simple.
同じ末路をたどるということよ。
They both end the same way.
意味がわかりません
I don't get it.
どうして私が
Why,
死んでいなければならないんですか
why should I be dead here?
あなたの世界で
In your world?
1986年10月4日
On October 4th, 1986,
親族会議に先立ちベアトリーチェの葬儀が催されたの。
Beatrice's funeral was held just before the family conference.
ええ知っています
Yes, I know that.
それが私にとっての今日でありついさっきです
And for me, that happened today, a short while ago.
それからその晩までの間に何があるかし
I wonder what will happen between that time and late that night.
何もありません
Nothing at all.
いとこたちと楽しく過ごし親族一同で晩餐を過ごし
The cousins will all play together and the whole family will have dinner together.
ら。そして夜には親族会議だわ。
Then comes the family conference after night falls.
あなたは20歳になったら当主を継承するのだったわね。
You were going to succeed the headship when you turned 20, right?
それは親族たちの間でも円満に決まってることなのかしら。
Was the entire family satisfied with that, I wonder?
円満かどうかは知りませんよそういうことになっているはずです
I don't know if they were satisfied, but the decision had been made.
当主様が決めたことですから
The head made it himself.
さすがに円満だとは信じてないようね。
Looks like even you didn't really believe they were satisfied.
そういうことよ。
That's it right there.
金蔵があなたを目に入れても痛くないほどに可愛がり特例的に当主の座をあなたに直接継承しようとしている。
Kinzo adored you more than anything, so he tried to make an exception and have you succeed the headship directly.
そのことを親族兄弟たちが面白く思っているわけもない。
Of course, his children wouldn't have been happy with that. The siblings objected to having Leon succeed the headship. Even Kraus joined in, saying that Leon was still too young. Then, on the night of the family conference, Kinzo tried proposing a difficult riddle.
まさか
Could it be...
それは
そうよ。
That's right,
碑文の謎よ。
the riddle of the epitaph.
礼拝堂の仕掛けを見ればわかる通り、金蔵は碑文の仕掛けを六軒島に屋敷を築いたその当初から考えていたわ。
As you can tell by the mechanism set into the chapel, Kinzo thought up the epitaph trick near the beginning, when the mansion on Rokenjima was being built.
いつか次期当主を選ぶ試練に使えるかもしれないなんてロマンチックなことを考えながらね。
He had the romantic idea of someday using it as a test to select his successor. Kinzo decided to present that riddle at the family conference. Did he plan to give the position of successor to the person who solved it? Or did he promise to reconsider Leon's position as a successor if it was solved? Either way, Kinzo was confident. He was confident that no one would be able to solve this tough riddle, which he had created himself.
あとはすでに見た真実と全く同じ展開よ。
After that, everything happened exactly like the truth you just saw.
あっさりと兄弟たちに解かれ、黄金の山を巡って一悶着。
The siblings solved it right away, and there was a quarrel over the pile of gold. So basically, we learn that Kinzo doesn't... He does not... I mean, at best, he thinks his actual children would not be able to solve the riddle. But at worst, he thinks they're just so dumb that they wouldn't be able to solve the riddle. Did not believe in his children at riddle solving. Giggle.
そしてキリエとルドルフは翌朝の事件発覚とそれに伴う騒ぎを未然に防ぐため深夜に殺人を決行する。
Then, Kyrie and Rudolph decide to prevent any chance of the crime being discovered the next morning and an outcry being raised by committing murder late that night.
いとこ部屋に集まっている子供たちを一人ずつ電話で呼び出して殺したわ。
They used the phone to call the kids out from the cousin room one by one, then killed them.
いとこの筆頭のあなたは一番最初に呼び出された。
As the first of the cousins, you were the first to be called out. Let me say this again. Let me see. Kyrie decided to prevent any chance of the crime being discovered the next morning. Yes. By committing murder. Yes. They used the phone to call the kids out. Yes. Okay.
そして客間でキリエに撃たれて殺されたわ。
Then, Kyrie shot you dead right here in the parlor.
違うわね。
No, that's not quite right.
あなたは1986年10月4日の夕方の後ろ宮リオンだものね。
You're the Ishiromia Leon from the early evening of October 4th, 1986.
だからこういうわ。
So, I'll say it this way.
あなたは今日の深夜に客間でキリエに撃たれて殺されるのよ。
Tonight, Kyrie will shoot you dead in the parlor.
かな。
That's insane.
そうだ、確率だ。
That's right. Probability.
クレルからリオンという奇跡が低い確率で生まれるように。
Just like Leon can be born from Claire thanks to a rare miracle.
キリエおばさんがそのような強行に及ぶのだって限りなくゼロに近いわずかな確率に違いない。
And Kyrie only commits murder with a tiny probability close to zero. That must be it.
あなたはそのわずかな確率の世界を見つけることができる魔女ではありませんか。
Aren't you the witch who specializes in finding extremely improbable worlds?
いかにもその通りよ。
That is correct.
あなたという奇跡の存在を見つけ出すために257万8917の中のたった一つのかけらを見つけ出してきた。
I had to find one fragment out of 2,578,917 in order to discover the miracle that is you.
でもね、
However,
あなたのこの末路はね、とても簡単に見つけられたのよ。
it was very, very easy to find this result for your world.
だって確率などないのだもの。
After all, probability isn't a factor.
私がわずかな奇跡があればそれを見つけ出せる魔女。
I'm a witch who can find any miracle, no matter how unlikely it is.
でもね、ないものは見つけられないの。
But I can't find things that don't exist.
私とて絶対の魔女に本当に絶対を保証されたら勝てないんだから。
If the witch of certainty really guarantees that something is certain, even I can't win against her. But
では
then
私は
I'm
257万8917分の257万8916の確率で
with a 2,578,916 out of 2,578,917 probability.
あなたはクレルとしての世界に生き逃れへの運命に翻弄され気の毒な最後を遂げる
You live in the world where you're Claire, get toyed with by an inescapable fate, and reach a tragic end.
そして257万8917分の1の確率で後ろ宮リオンとして生き
And, with a 1 out of 2,578,917 probability, you live as Ishirumia Leon,
今夜キリエに殺されるの
and are killed by Kairi tonight.
つまりあなたのいいえあなたたちの運命は257万8917分の257万8917の確率で
In other words, your fate. No, the fate of the two you share traps you in an inescapable dead end, a hell of fate, with a 2,578,917 out of 2,578,917 probability.
つまりいかなる奇跡も許さない絶対の運命で逃れ得ぬ袋小路に運命の牢獄に囚われているということなのよ
To put it another way, it's a certain fate with absolutely no chance for a miracle.
残念だったわねクレル
Sucks for you, Claire.
いいえベアトリーチ
Or should I say, Beatrice. Just when a bright light seemed to turn the world white, the scene suddenly changed back to the theater. On the stage, Bern Costello's Reaper scythe slid across Claire's stomach as the latter stood absolutely still. A red line was drawn across the white skin, exposed now that the dress had been cut and black blood began to seep out.
ベアトリーチ
Beatrice?
閉ざされた逃げ得ぬ絶対の2日間に閉じ込められたあなたはその2日間の猫箱の中で無限を生み出せる魔女となったわ
Trapped in that inescapable, certain, locked away pair of days, you became a witch who could give birth to endless possibilities within that 2-day cat box.
絶対に救われない報われないことと引き換えにね
In exchange, it was absolutely certain that you would not be saved or rewarded.
しかしあなたは夢を見たわ
However, you had a dream.
それが後ろ宮リオンという夢
You dreamed of Ishirumia Leon.
自分がクレルとならずに済み幸せに暮らせていたかもしれない奇跡の世界を夢見て自らを慰めていた
You consoled yourself with the thought of a miracle world where you could have lived in happiness without ever becoming Claire.
リオンを見つけるのは本当に苦労したわよ
I had to work hard to find Leon.
その存在はベアトが夢見た通り本当に奇跡だったんだから
Just as Beato dreamed, Leon's existence is a true miracle.
そして葬儀の最後に見せつけてやりたかったのよ
And, at the end of your funeral, I wanted to show you.
その奇跡をもってしてもあんたは惨劇を逃れられやしないってね
To show you that even with that miracle, you couldn't have escaped from tragedy. Through the small crack between the bars of the jail that imprisoned her, the witch called Beatrice dreamed of a world where she might have been happy. However, space she could see through that crack in the bars was just another part of the same jail.
私にはあなたという人がますますにわからない
The more I hear, the less I understand about you.
あなたはなぜこんなことをするのですか？
Why? Why would you do something like this?
ベアトにゲームで負けたから腹いせで。
I lost a game to Beatrice, so I wanted to get back at her. Wow, the ultimate petty.
ああ、これで少しは負けたムカつきも晴れてきたわ。
Yeah, now I feel a lot better about losing that game.
ねえベアト、見てる？
Hey, Beato, are you watching?
見えてる？
Can you see this?
そして覚えてる？
And do you remember?
あなたには絶対に奇跡は起きないって私約束したわよね。
Remember when I promised you that a miracle wouldn't occur with certainty? Oh, so, Leon.
ベアトの目の前であなたを元の世界へ戻してあげる。
Allow me to return you to your world, right before Beato's eyes.
感激の魔女たちはだるい一家団らんのシーンはもう縮小気味だそうよ。
It looks like the theater-going witches are all sick and tired of those happy family get-together scenes.
だからあなたがキリエに撃たれる直前の瞬間へ送ってあげる。
So, send you to the moment just before Kyrie shoots you.
そしてその瞬間をベアトに見せつけてあげる。
Then, I'll make Beato watch that moment. Oh,
死ねやゲロカスリオン。
die, scum Leon!
ゲロカスベアトの最後の希望。
The last hope of that scum Beato. Ugly laugh, ugly laugh, ugly laugh. Burncasto raised her Reaper Scythe, swung it down with gusto, and plunged it deep into Claire's stomach.
綺麗に死ねたつもりだった。
Did you think you'd get an easy death?
死骸を腹渡引きずり出して恥ずかしめるのが私の一番得意なことだってのに。
But humiliating and tearing out a corpse's guts is my specialty. She took the blade end of the scythe and heartlessly, ruthlessly, brutally raised it up into the air, along a vertical line from Claire's stomach to her chest. The blade cut deeply, slicing Claire open. The red-black insides jutted out, then burst like a dam breaking, covering the world with dark red entrails. Steal the Italians' gold, you say? You coward, Ishurmiya! And you call yourself a soldier of the Empire!
お父様、
Father?
私はお父様のことを敬愛いたしております。
I do love and respect you, Father.
そのお父様の気持ちには
But your feelings are something I get me out of there. Get me out of there. Why?
どうしてあなたたちは私を助けたんですか？
Why did you save me?
どうして死なせてくれなかったんですか？
Why didn't you let me die?
私はあの時の大怪我でこんな体で生きさせられている。
Because of that terrible injury, I've been forced to live in a body like this.
こんな体で生きていたくなんかなかった。
I never wanted to live in a body like this.
こんな恋をすることもできない体で。
This body that isn't even capable of love.
そんなの生きる価値がないんじゃないですか？
What's the point in living like that?
そんなの人間じゃない。
This isn't a human's life.
家具じゃないですか？
It's like being furniture.
そう。
That's right. I'm furniture.
家具なんだ。
Furniture!
どうして私はあの時に死なせてくれなかったんですか？
Why? Why didn't you let me die back then? Huh? When I came to, I was in the parlor of the mansion. When did I get here? I heard a sound behind me, then slowly turned around. And there?
ごめんね。悪く思わないでね。
Sorry. Please don't take this personally. Huh? I could see down the frigid barrel of the gun Aunt Kyrie was pointing. Then, she slowly pulled the trigger. Bang! I could feel a razor-sharp wind pass through my body, like a knife slicing through butter. Prepared for death and hoping to see my fate until the end, I slowly opened my eyes. The world had been cut in two. Kyrie was frozen in place like a statue, still pointing her gun with a cold smile on her face. And had been cut in half at an angle, top part of her slowly sliding off to the side. Oh! No, that wasn't quite right. That wasn't right at all. It wasn't just Kyrie. The whole world had been sliced in half at an angle, and was slowly sliding off to one side. Then, immediately after fissures seemed to appear across the world, it shattered. This could only be the doing of one man! I knew. I knew. I knew.
あなたは
You?
猫を飼ってると飼い主も似るもんさ。
When you own a cat, you tend to pick up their habits. God, a harder line has never been said ever in fiction. Holy shit. The best line I've ever read with my own two eyes. Holy sh... He pointed at Bern Castell with the tip of the pitch-black sword that had sliced the world, glaring at her. What's this?
戻ってきたのは気まぐれだって言いたいの？
Are you saying you came back here on a whim?
お前がいい話で終わらせるわけがね
There is no way you'd end things on a happy note.
え。そこまでベアトリーチェが憎いか。
Do you really hate Beatrice so much?
私が勝ち逃げなんて許すと思う？
You think I'd let her win and get away?
私に敗北の屈辱を味わわせてくれた分、たっぷりとお返しをしないとね。
I have to pay her back in full for the humiliation she caused me.
私、根に持つと100年は忘れないわよ。
When I hold a grudge, a mere century isn't long enough for me to forget it.
根のくれえやつだ。
You're a gloomy person.
私の心をないがしろにしないでほしいわね。
Come on, you mustn't neglect my heart. Giggle, giggle, giggle.
大丈夫か、リオ。
Are you okay, Leon?
どうした？おい。
Hey, what's wrong? Leon had suddenly doubled over, groaning.
胸が
My chest
痛いんです。
hurts.
これは
It's... Will roughly grabbed the hand that was pressed against Leon's chest and tore it away. Blood was seeping out from where Leon's hand had been. It was a place that the bullet would have entered if Kyrie had shot Leon.
リオンの体は受け入れかかっているのよ。
Looks like Leon's body
自分の運命をね。
is almost ready to accept its fate.
リオン、しっかりしろ。
Leon, hang in there.
くそ、鎖か。
Damn these chains. When Will tried to pick Leon's body up, he finally noticed the chains attached to each wrist and ankle.
なに？
What's this?
連れて逃げる気？
Are you trying to take that kid and escape?
逃がさないわよ。
I won't let you.
リオンが血を吐いてあまたの世界すべてに希望がないことを絶望して
I'm about to let everyone watch as Leon coughs up blood, despairing at the fact that there's no hope in any of the many worlds.
もだえながら死ぬところを今からみんなで鑑賞して楽しむんだけど
Before finally dying in agony.
リオンは見せ物じゃね
Leon is in a show. Will swung his pitch black sword and destroyed the chains binding Leon. The chains and shackles shattered into little bits like glass, then vanished.
私の遊びを邪魔するの
Do you intend to get in the way of my fun?
え。てめえは神じゃね
You aren't God.
え。できるのは運命を嘲笑うことだけだ。
All you can do is sneer at fate.
リオンの運命はリオンが決める。
Leon's fate is going to be decided by Leon.
人間の運命をおもちゃにするんじゃねえ。
You can't treat a human's fate like a toy. Laugh. Ah, ha, ha, ha.
元老院の魔女この大ベルンカステルによくそれだけのことを言えたわ
You've got guts, saying that to the great Berncastel, Witch of the Senate.
リオンだけじゃなくあんたも用済みなのよ
I have no more use for you either. Get it?
ベアとのファンタジーをミステリーだと断言してぶった切ってくれた
You've shown that Beato's fancy a mystery and cut it to pieces.
あんたの役目はそれでおしま
You fulfilled your role.
いおとなしく帰っていればそれで見逃してやったのに
I would have let you be, if only you just left quietly.
のこのこと戻ってきたからには私のおもちゃにされても文句は言えないわね
Now that you strolled back in here, you can hardly complain if I make you my plaything.
おいでなさい私の可愛い子猫たち
Come to me, my cute kitties.
みんなでガリガリと引っかいてきれいに生皮を剥いてあげてちょうだい
Scratch them up and tear off their skin.
ぶどうの皮をつるんとひんむくみたいにね
Peel them like grapes. When Berncastel clapped her hands twice, countless pairs of glaring jewels appeared all around Will and Leon. They were clearly cat eyes, but the way the drool hung from their mouths looked far more terrifying than any cat. Yeah, it's the dreaded cat boys I've always heard about. The fabled cat boys. Will.
任せろ。
I'll handle this.
猫の爪切りなら慣れてる。
Trimming kitty nails is nothing new to me. The number of jewels surrounding them already reached into the thousands. Will pointed his sword in one direction after another, warding off the surrounding cats.
リオン、しっかりしろ。
Get a grip, Leon.
お前は撃たれてなんかいね
You haven't been shot.
え。撃たれたことを、いや、撃たれることを認めるんじゃねえ。
Don't acknowledge that you have been. No, that you're going to be shot. Leon tried to fight an incredible tearing pain. No, it was a fight against the promised future that Berncastel had shown. However, the stake of that future, which the Witch of Miracles had guaranteed would contain no miracle, was firm and merciless. Bit by bit, and yet unceasingly, continued to pierce into Leon's chest.
いいか、
Listen up.
俺が一瞬だけ包囲をやる。
I'm going to break through their perimeter for just a second.
そしたら全力で走れ。
When I do, you need to run with all you've got.
どこまでもまっすぐな。
It doesn't matter where.
方向は大事じゃない。
Just make sure you get far away from this place.
ここから遠ざかることだけを意識して、ただひたすらにどこまでも走れ。
And keep on running, no matter what happens.
可能な限り
I'll try,
努力します
to the best of my ability.
無理な時は
If I can't do it,
許してください
Please forgive me.
無理な時
If you can't do it,
弱音を吐くな
enough whining.
俺が許さね
I won't forgive you.
えクレルも許さね
Neither will Claire.
えお前はクレル257万8917分の1の希望だろうが
Did you forget that your Claire's 1 in 2,578,917 chance?
お前が諦めたらお前は無数の世界のお前たちを裏切るんだ
If you give up, you're betraying all the other yous in countless worlds.
だからくじけるんじゃねえあがいてあがくんだよ
So don't lose heart. Keep on struggling and struggling.
奇跡を探すんじゃねえお前が奇跡になるんだ
Don't look for a miracle. Be one.
私が奇跡
Be a miracle.
お前は幸せな未来へたどり着くんだよ
You're going to reach a happy future.
くじけるんじゃねえ弱音を吐くんじゃね
Don't give up. Don't complain.
えもう一度弱音を言ってみろ
Just you try complaining again.
今度は俺がお前の尻をつねってやる
This time I'll pinch your ass. This time I'll pinch your ass, I mean. Oh, the motivation. Oh, to be pinched by Will on my ass. Okay. Giggle, giggle. I'm laughing.
この奇跡の魔女の前で奇跡になれとよくも言えたものだわ。
How very confident you are, telling this kid to be a miracle when you stand before the Witch of Miracles.
奇跡など所詮はファンタジー。
Miracles are no more than fantasy.
ミステリーで断罪されたこの世界で這いつくばって無慈悲に虫けらのように死になさい。
Grovel in this world that has been convicted as mystery and die horribly like a worm.
感激の魔女たちはそれを見届けたくて心待ちにしているのよ。
The witches of theater going are looking forward to watching it.
何がミステリー
You call that a mystery?
心のねえミステリーなんぞ俺が認めると思うか
You think I'd ever accept a mystery without heart?
三味線になりてえ猫からかかってきた
Let the cat who wants to be made into a shamisen strike first.
女性
Ah, what a pain.
まとめてかかってこいよ
Let's have all of you at once.
SSVD 首席異端審問官ウィラード H ライト
I'm Williard H. Wright, SSVD's head inquisitor of heresy.
これが最後の刃だ
This will be the final time I draw my sword.
打ちやれ子猫たち。
Trash him, kitties.
Meow, 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 meow.
At once, all of the cat eyes opened wide, undulating and spinning in a spiral, then swallowed Will up. But Will and Leon weren't swallowed up. The cats that had flown in at them from all directions were now being launched away, like they were a balloon popping around the pair.
あら、やるじゃん。
Oh, not bad.
子猫に用はね
I don't give a damn about your kitties. Me, when I'm more of a dog person.
親猫しか眼中にねえんだよ
It's just the mama cat I care about.
奇跡の魔女ベルン・カステル
Burn Cassell, Witch of Miracles!
伸びすぎた爪を研いでやら
It's about time someone trimmed your claws. Another flash of the black blade spun in a dark tornado and scattered the cats once more. Leon, realizing this was the opening Will had planned, ran all out, still clutching at a heaving chest.
フィル走ります
Will, I'm running.
ダイアナはすぐ腹を壊す
Diana has a weak stomach.
ミルクは温めてから頼む
Make sure you only give her milk that's warm. Huh? Oh, damn. By the time Leon asked Will to repeat what he had said, He had already leapt onto the stage and was now confronting Bern Castell. It was like the climax of a show. Loud cheers erupted from the pitch-black audience seating. On either side of Claire, who lay with her insides exposed, stood Will, with his pitch-black sword, and Bern Castell, the scythe that could harvest miracles from fate.
キリエとルドルフが犯人で島の人間を皆殺しにした。
Kyrie and Rudolph are the culprits, and they massacred the people on the island.
ディオンを客間に呼び出して射殺した。
They called Leon out to the parlor, then shot Leon to death?
悪いな。そんな真実とやらミステリーが認めるわけにはいかねえ。
Sorry, but I can't acknowledge this truth as of yours as a mystery.
こいつは全てファンタジーだ。
This is all fantasy.
ファンタジ
Fantasy?
ーそういうことにしてリオンの運命を逃れさせるつもり
You're calling it that to try and let Leon escape fate?
やってごらんなさいな
By all means, try. Hee 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 hee. Ho 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 ho. Hee 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 hee. She's really good at forcing out that laughter. Oh shit! The JPEGs are moving. Caught me off guard. Rule number 1. It is forbidden to have a crime without all clues presented. Surely, Will's black sword must have cut through Bern Castell's body. However, it had no effect, like cutting the reflection of the moon on the water. How poetic.
何
What's this?
手がかりって
What do you mean by clues?
キリエとルドルフが犯人だとさ。お前のミステリー認めない。
I won't accept your mystery with Kyrie and Rudolph as culprits.
キリエたちが犯人であることを示す手がかりはいずれのゲーム中にも存在しない。
You won't find clues showing that they're the culprits no matter which game you look at.
あるわけないじゃない
Of course you won't.
あったとしても島は丸ごと吹っ飛んだんだし
Even if they did exist at one point, the whole island blew up.
つまり手がかりなしってわけだ。
Which means there aren't any clues.
ならばそれはミステリーじゃね
And that means there is no mystery.
え。ファンタジーだ。
It's fantasy.
は
Huh? It's impossible for an unprovable truth to become truth in the human world. In other words, even the actual truth cannot cross the boundary of a cat box. Ah!
真実を猫箱に閉じ込めようというの
Are you trying to shut the truth inside the cat box?
それがミステリーの戦い方なの
Giggle. Giggle. Is this how the mystery genre is supposed to fight? Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha. Oh ho ho. Ah ha ha. Yeah ha ha. Yeah ha ha. Laugh, 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 laugh. With a laugh like the howl of a wild animal, Bern Castell carelessly tossed her scythe aside.
戦うのさえもバカらしい
Fighting itself is a waste of time.
おいでゲロカス
Get over here, scum.
好きなだけ私を切ってごらんなさい
Try and cut me all you like.
あんたの言い分全部聞いてあげるわ
I'll listen to all you've got to say.
貴様、心をないがしろにしたミステリーをすべて貫く二重のくさび。
The 20 wedges will pierce every part of your heartless mystery.
くれてやら。
Here it comes.
20のくさびで私を倒せなかった時覚悟することね
And when you realize that you can't defeat me with those 20 wedges, you know what'll happen next, right?
さあおいで
Giggle. Come on. Also, I failed to mention this music is going hard right now. This heavy beat.
遊んであげるね 20のくさび
kitty
とや
killing
ら
music. That sounds bad, but you know what I mean. I'll play with you if that's what you want. Oh shit. We've been teased into oblivion. Wait, so then is this setting up episode 8? Is that, or is this setting up the next little DVD extra thing? The question mark section. I too like to take long black swords to a bunch of rabid kitties. Seventh game! Requiem of the Witch! No! 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 Ba-ba-ba! Ba-ba-ba! Sag. No, we're not done yet. It is a fake out. Trying to ignore an incredible pain in the chest, Leon kept on running and running without stopping. I dashed out of the theater-going witches, then ran through an incomprehensible world of blackness. Before I knew it, I was running through a place that looked like a sea of stars. That was a game that released recently. It's all tied together. Or maybe the bottom of the ocean with stars scattered around. If I get careless for a second, I'll probably trip. No, if I get careless, won't be able to tell if I'm running. Or just making running motions as I free fall, endlessly sinking deeper into the ocean of stars. I just kept on running without any goal or target. I mustn't stop moving. I mustn't fall down here. If I fall, I'll crush the hope of the me's in countless worlds. There's a happy world that the Beatrices dreamed of, and I'm their last hope, the only one who can reach that world. Even though I understand this, the truth thrust in front of me by the witch who controls miracles, who says there can be no miracle, is cruelly gouging itself into my chest. Sorry, Will. My body's all ready. Then, Leon finally succumbed to the fierce pain and fate, and fell over. No, Leon. Will said you can't give up. You can't lose here. Ah! Leon's body was held roughly from behind and lifted up. Will? You're okay. No, not really. I like that. Don't you give up. Didn't I tell you I'd pinch your ass? Sorry. I'm really sorry. But on that day, in that place, I was fated to be killed. That's right. All humans are fated to die in the end. Does that mean their lives are meaningless?
違うだ。
Of course not.
人生の意味も価値も人生そのものすらも人が自分で描くんだ。
What a person's life means, what it's worth, what it is, these are things each person decides for themselves.
押し付けられた運命が何だってんだ。
No matter what sort of fate is forced upon them,
受け入れるな。
don't accept it.
世界はお前が紡げ。自らで。
Create your own world for yourself.
ウィル、あなたの左腕。
Will, your left arm.
ああ、忘れてきちまった。
Ah, right. Must have forgotten it.
取りに帰るのも億劫だ。
It'd be a pain to go back and get it now. Oh my god. There were rips all over Will's body. Also, his left arm had been brutally torn off from the elbow. His clothes were in tatters, and he looked like a blood-stained scarecrow. My hero. Then, Leon noticed. Though this place had once felt like a sea filled with stars, both above and below them, those stars had now gathered together and were surrounding them. It was a huge, even number of stars, all glaring at the two of them. Spooky. Will was holding Leon with one arm. Oh no, his left arm has been sent to the Shadow Realm. Will was holding Leon with one arm. He couldn't take his sword out. However, he didn't let go. He was determined to let Leon escape from here, to lead Leon towards the happy tale that the Beatrices had dreamed of. Behind the cats whose eyes glowed out of the empty darkness, the Queen of Cats, who permitted no miracles, appeared. No, don't let her in.
ウィラー
Go away. You're not wanted here. Willard,
ド、リオンを下ろしなさい。
put Leon down.
そしたらあなただけは見逃してあげるわ。
Evil kitty mouth. A kitty mouth of evil. If you do, I'll let you go.
書面で大法廷に出せ。
Go file a protest with the Great Court.
審議してやるぜ。
You can put it up for debate.
ウィル、
Will,
私を
I
置いてはいかねえぜ。
won't leave you behind.
お前に教えてやる。
I need to tell you.
どうして俺が SSVD をやめるのかを。
To tell you why I quit SSVD.
そういえば私も知らないわ。それ
Come to think of it, even I don't know that.
どうして？
Why'd you do it?
クソったれな。お涙ちょうだいのミステリーばっかりに飽きたからだよ。
It's because I got fed up with all those damn sob story mysteries.
ハッピーエンド上等。逃げ延びてやるぜ。
We'll survive and reach a happy ending.
俺が教えてやるんだよ。
I'll show her.
バッドエンドしかないと絶望して死んだベアトリーチェにハッピーエンドもあり得るんだって教えてやるんだ。
Beatrice died in despair, thinking that there were only bad endings.
だから絶対にお前を降ろさね
I'll show her that a happy ending can exist. I swear I'll never put you down.
ウィル、
Will,
え。猫ども左の二の腕もくれてやるぜ。
you can take the rest of my left arm, cats.
欲しけりゃ両足もくれてやる。
I'll give you my legs too if you want them.
だがな絶対にリオンだけは離さね
But I'm not letting go of Leon here.
え。俺が張ってでもこいつをお前というバッドエンドから逃がしてやる。
I'll take Leon away from the bad ending you represent, even if I have to crawl my way out of here.
いいの？リオン、
Are you okay with this, Leon?
ウィルはあんたをかばって死ぬ気？
Will's planning to die protecting you.
嫌でし
You don't want that, right?
ょ。私なんか放って逃げてくださいってお言いなさいよ。
Go ahead and tell him to leave you behind. Go ahead and tell him to leave you be and save himself.
ウィル、
Will.
おう
Oh God. Horror. Yeah.
私を離さないでください。
Please, don't leave me here.
逃げ延びます。絶対に。
I'll certainly survive.
そしてあなたも
And so will you.
それでいい。
That's a spirit. As he said this, Will held Leon tight.
というわけだ。
There you have it.
あがくぜ、ベルンカステル。
We'll keep struggling on, Bernkastel.
私たちは奇跡を諦めない。
We won't give up on the chance of a miracle.
絶対に奇跡は訪れないと奇跡の魔女が約束したのに、それをよくも口にできたこと。
You're saying that? When the Witch of Miracles has promised with certainty that there will be no miracles? Ah,
さよなら、二人とも。
Sayonara, you two.
忘却の深淵で死すら迎えられずに誇りに降り積もられて消え去りなさい。
Go collect dust in the depths of oblivion, unable even to die and disappear.
さあ、子猫たち、
Come, my kitties.
殺せとは命じないわ。
I won't order you to kill them.
その出番の終わった駒二つをお片付けなさい。
Just clean up the two pieces whose role has ended. 100 million, a trillion, 10 quadrillion cats all bared their fangs. In the starry sky of cat eyes, countless flesh-colored mouths opened, exposing countless teeth. The world was wrapped in flesh and blood and fangs. Excellent. The question marks. I can hear them. Well. Ding dong. Ding dong. Let's just jump right into it. No sense in waiting. No sense in waiting. Clocks. Lamps. Lights. Aurora. We got Aurora. I read it with her. This is the Aurora. That, by God, that's Aurora's music. Two white pieces were set on the chessboard. The countless black pieces surrounding them were now just packed together, not even placed on the squares. Bernkastel tipped the two white pieces over and took them off the board.
こんなところでおしまいでいいかしら?
Is it really okay to end it like this? Yes.
やはりそなたの朗読は耳に馴染むぞ、我が巫女よ。
Yes, as usual, your reading truly does fall comfortably on my ears, my Miko.
あんたのお望み通り、腹渡の内側まで書き出してやった。
As you wished, I've scraped out even the inner parts of the guts.
答え合わせにはこれで十分でしょ?
Was that enough of an answer check for you? Indeed.
実に満足しているぞ。
I'm quite satisfied.
そなたが明かした答えを鍵に、これまでの物語を遡り、
Using the answer you have revealed as a key, I will go back through all the tales so far.
まるで宝石箱のような密室の数々を一つずつ開いていこう。
Opening the closed rooms like treasure boxes, one by one.
鍵を得ることは楽しい。
Couldn't be me, though. This is the eternal joking of me going back and re-watching every stream I've done of Umineko so far. All 81 parts prior to this. It's fun finding the key.
そしてその鍵で個々を開いていくことはもっと楽しい。
And it's even more fun to stick it into all the locks.
ご苦労であった我が巫女よ。
You have done very well, my Miko.
これより先は私一人でゆっくりと思考を楽しみたい。
From now on, let me enjoy my thoughts alone.
もう十分であるぞ。
This has been enough. The witch of theater going sat back in a rocking chair, a satisfied smile on her face, as though enjoying a pleasant aftertaste. There was no need for a game board anymore. She just had to go back in her mind through the whole set of tales to check whether her theory was right or not. It seemed to leave her pleasantly drunk, even better than the most expensive wine.
私はこれで用済みかしら。
Are you done with me now?
ご苦労であった我が巫女よ。
You have done well, my Miko.
その任を解く。
I absolve you of your duty.
私は再び眠りにつく。
I will return to my slumber.
この心地よきまどろみを数百年にわたって楽しみたい。
I'd like to enjoy this pleasant dream for a few more centuries.
そして私が再び飽きるとき、
And when I grow tired of that,
そなたは私を楽しませるためにまた新しい物語を見つけてくるのだ。
you will find yet another tale to keep me entertained.
それまでの数百年のひととき、
For those centuries, which will pass in the blink of an eye,
そなたの自由を許す。
I grant you your freedom.
あっぱれであったぞ、ベルンカステル。かわいい、かわいい。我が巫女よ。
Splendidly done, Baron Castell, my cute Miko.
知ったことじゃないわ。
It's not like I care.
勝手に干からびて死になさいよ。
Go ahead, dry up and die.
じゃあね、未来永劫さようなら。
So long for the rest of time.
数百年ごときをそなたは未来永劫と呼ぶというのか？
You call a few mere centuries for the rest of time? Oh. Featherine's consciousness slowly faded away. Goodbye. Goodbye. As the owner of the study's slumber grew deeper, the lights about the room slowly darkened.
永遠におやすみ、アウアウローラ。
Good night forever. Arrrrrrrr.
このゲーム版はあんたにはもう不要よね。
You don't need this game board anymore.
私がもらっていくわ。
I'll take it. Berncastill reached out towards Beato's game board, which lay on the table in front of Featherine's rocking chair, and tapped it twice. Game board and the pieces flew into the air, folded up, and put themselves away, then landed on Berncastill's outstretched right hand.
私、まだ全然ゲームマスターをやっていないのよ。
I still haven't had a chance to do any real game mastering.
私はベアとの葬儀をやっただけ。
I just did Beato's funeral.
そして腹渡を引きずり出しただけ。
That and tearing out the guts.
まだ何にもやっちゃいない。
I still haven't done anything. Berncastill's smile twisted evilly. Then, the game board floated up once again, and a world unfolded itself above Berncastill's palm. When does it end, Bernie? When will you be satisfied? The answer is never, I know.
さあ、ベアとのゲーム版の駒たち。
Hey, pieces of Beato's game?
私を最高に楽しませる最高に残虐な物語を紡がせてあげるわ。
I'm gonna have you spin a incredibly brutal tale that I'll find incredibly entertaining.
おののきなさい。約束された絶対の運命を。
Tremble in fear of the certain fate you've been promised.
奇跡の魔女ベルンカステルの名において。
By the name of Berncastell, Witch of Miracles.
そしてベアとのゲームの最後のゲームマスターとして宣言するわ。
And as the final game master of Beato's game, I proclaim it.
ただ宣言するだけじゃつまらないわね。
Though just saying it would be boring.
ベアとのゲームにのっとって 赤き真実で宣言してやった方がいいかしら。
Maybe I should follow Pieto's rules and say it in red.
それがいいんじゃない？
Are you sure?
まだ甘い夢を見てる魔女どももいるみたいだし。
There might still be some witches with naive hopes.
あららら、いたの？
Ah, Lambda. So you're here.
いるわよね。私のいるところならどこへでも。
Of course, you're always wherever I am.
言ってやりなさいよ。
Go on and say it.
甘い夢見てる魔女どもに。
You tell those naive dreamers.
そうするわ。
Yes, I will.
奇跡の魔女として、そして最後のゲームマスターとして最後のゲームを宣言するわ。
As the Witch of Miracles, and as the final game master, I proclaim the start of the final game
そして約束する。
and make you this promise.
このゲームにハッピーエンドは与えない。
I won't give this game a happy ending. Good. I see in my life too many happy endings. I want sadness all the time. Sob. A single girl was crying in a desolate, quiet chapel. She was a small girl, only 6 years old. Uh-oh. The girl who would, for 12 years starting now, lament the fact that she wasn't on this island during October 4th and 5th, 1986. I can only be one person. Baby? Then, a single man appeared. Not Sakataro. Shut up. A single man appeared. The man noticed the girl, walked up to her quietly, trying not to scare her, and put his arms gently around her shoulders.
お兄ちゃん。
Oni-chan.
探したぞ、エンジェ。
Battler, mostly absent this episode, I must say. I've been looking for you, Angie. The girl jumped into her big brother's chest and started crying again.
どうした？
What's wrong?
何をそんなに悲しんでいるんだ？
Why are you so sad?
今日クラスの子にいじめられたの。
Today, a kid in class bullied me.
テレビでお母さんは悪い人たちとつながりがあったって。
He said the people on TV were saying mom had ties to bad people.
だからうちのお父さんとお母さんが犯人でみんなを殺したんだろうって。
So he said that mom and dad were the culprits and that they probably killed everyone.
エバおばさんにそんなことないよねって聞いたのに答えてくれないの。
I asked Aunt Eva, hoping she'd say it wasn't true, but she didn't say anything.
お父さんとお母さんは悪くなんかないよね。
Mom and dad aren't bad people, right?
ね
Right?
かわいそうに。
Poor kid.
みんながあの島であの日何があったのかを好
Everyone
き勝手なことを言ってるんだな。
Everyone keeps saying whatever they like about what might have happened on that island on that day.
そこにお座り。
Sit over here.
うん。
Okay. When the man pointed to the floor, a cloud of gold butterflies gathered there and created a chair. The girl obediently sat down on it.
お兄ちゃんは知ってるよね。
You know, don't you, Oni-chan?
お父さんとお母さんは悪い人じゃないって知ってるよね。
You know that mom and dad aren't bad people, right?
ああ、もちろんだとも。
Yeah. Of course I know that.
誰も悪い人なんかいないって知ってるさ。
I know that none of them were bad people.
じゃあ教えて。
Then tell me,
あの日何があったの？
what happened that day?
ロケン島で何があったの？
What happened on Rokenjima?
いいとも。
Okay.
話してあげるよ。
I'll tell you.
あの日、あの島で何があったのか。
This is what happened on that day.
それは怖い話。
Is it a scary story?
まさか。
Of course not.
それは悲しい話。
Is it a sad story?
とんでもない。
Not at all.
それはどんな話？
Then, what kind of story is it?
聞いたエンジェが自分で決めるといい。
You can decide that for yourself when you hear it.
決して辛い話じゃないんだよ。
It definitely isn't a painful story.
だからお聞き。
So listen up.
うん。
Okay?
バトラーお兄ちゃん。
Battler Oni-chan.
あの日、お兄ちゃんたちは六軒島へ行ったんだよ。
On that day, we all went to Rokenjima.
とても大勢でね。
There were a lot of us.
大事な親族会議があることになってたんだ。
It was an important day. The day of the family conference.
まずはどこから話したものかな。
Where should I begin?
これが
This is
エンジェに捧げる最後のゲーム。
the final game, made just for Angie.
お聞き、エンジェ。
Listen, Angie.
あの日、六軒島で何があったのか。
This is what happened on Rokenjima on that day.
これは辛い話でも悲しい話でもないんだよ。
It isn't sad or painful at all. Oh god, I got a big stretch. Yeah, I mean, very short, especially compared next to the Tea Party section before. That I think lasted us like fucking 8 hours or so. 10. A million. Yeah, I was just about to say, what Bernie was saying and what Battler's saying seems to be contrasting viewpoints, huh? God, I cannot believe we only have one more episode. I hate to be so reflective, especially we still have a whole episode and that's gonna last us all a month or so, you know. But I can't believe we are on the precipice of finishing almost a year's long journey. A lot of the red in all the games heavily rely on wordplay and technicalities. Yeah, I mean the easiest thing, kind of like what was said earlier, is it's not a happy ending. But I mean, like, according to who? As long as one person says that it's not a happy ending, then technically it's not a happy ending, right? Who will be left unhappy? Who will be left unsatisfied? Maybe me. Maybe chat. Maybe anyone who has decided to come along this journey for, like I was saying, a full year here. Maybe everyone will be left unhappy. Us, the readers, the Mikos. Oh, the Golden Witch prepared a gift for me? Oh, how kind. Oh, how kind. Yeah, big stretch. I just now looked around my room and it's so dark because of the daylight savings time stuff. It's like, it's not even 4:30. And my apartment is like as dark as shit. Well, look at this, dude. What a painting. What a paint. All right. Are there any goodies? Goodies, 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 goodies. I just be clicking things again. I want to see his arm, like, ripped off. I don't think I'm getting any of that. There. All in all, the real truth doesn't matter nearly as much as the heart of everything. I was going to say this earlier. Alright, maybe a controversial take, especially with something that is leans so heavily into the mystery genre. And, like, this isn't necessarily 100% related to what you're saying. But I just want to get it off my chest. And again, maybe blasphemous to say in something that's so steeped in mystery, and that's not only the genre that this comfortably sits inside, but that's like its whole thing here. And obviously talks about the genre itself constantly throughout this whole thing. But like, I don't know, man. Honestly, at the end of the day, when all is said and done, and when we finish and we get the themes and we're all satisfied, we dust our hands off and we're say, that was a satisfying piece of thing I just read. A piece of whatever. At the end of the day, does it really matter? Does it really? Ultimately, does it matter who killed the family? Does it matter who killed these Shrumias? You know, I just want to put that out there. At the end of the day. Does it just, you know, take a journey with me. Does it actually matter? Do we care? Is that, I mean, I'm being 100%, I'm laughing while I say it, but I'm being 100% honest. Does the heart of the story actually fully, I mean, for us, because I think the point of what's going to be this story is not going to be like, oh man, yeah, cool. You know, this is what really happened on Rokenjima that day, right? I think that's less important than a lot of other themes and things you're supposed to pull out of the story. Yes, they must pay for their crimes. True, you're right. Fuck that person. Nah. But I'm being honest. I know it's a corny thing to say and all, but I just think, at the end of the day, sure. It's a mystery genre story. There's a mystery to it that can be solved at many different points, right? But I'm also of the mindset that at the end of the day, maybe again sacrilegious to say, but the whodunit means a lot less than a lot of other things to draw out from the story. And I'm not really wording my point 100% well. You just have to deal with it. But that's, you know. Well, dang. Well, dang. So, yeah, we are 7 of 8 episodes. Although, the egg is going to be on my face where I finish episode 8 and there's going to be like a hidden 9th episode that no one has told me about. And then we're truly not going to finish before the end of the year. And then I'll cry. And I'll just refuse to do episode 9. No, we shouldn't read that. We shouldn't read that yet. As an aside, the scene where Will tries to talk with Shannon and Cannon at the same time really throws a twist in your face. Well, yeah. I'd kind of, once we kind of realized that they're not two distinct people, I kind of was like, I then in my own head went back and like, oh, that's why, like, it started breaking down like, we really can't do that. Error. So any last words here before we head out? Like I said, what I said at the start of the stream is that I would love to start episode 8 tomorrow. Still. Some may say that's an absurd amount of Umineko happening. But I'm gonna be away for part of tomorrow. Or busy, I should say, not away. Busy. Though I currently think that it's happening tomorrow afternoon, and I'll still be available to stream tomorrow night. But in saying that, I also don't 100% know for sure. I might be busy tomorrow night, so I don't know. I'll have to figure out. So, tentative starting episode 8 tomorrow. If you definitely 100%, I hate saying stuff like this, but if you 100% need to know, go to Twitch. If you're not following, then follow, and then that's the only way you can, I think, turn on notifications to let me know, or let you know, not me. I'll know, but to know when I'm going to be on tomorrow to start episode 8, because I'm looking forward to it. For sure. Alright, let me catch back up here. Also, Erica really screws herself over several times, like when she decides to say everyone else is in the other room. And so when Cannon escapes from the room Shannon is in, she just blanks, can't figure out what happened. True. Erica, we love to see her fail. Not considering things. Thirsty Suitors finale was great. Yeah, it was pretty good. I ended up really liking Thirsty Suitors. I agree. Thirsty Suitors, pretty dang good. Pretty good for what it was. I honestly, yeah, I didn't think Patty was going to be the final thing. I honestly thought it was going to be a final showdown with the sister, but I liked how it concluded. I agree. I don't think I have anything else to say. Looking forward to episode 8. We're going to finish before the end of the year. Yeah. I hate, yeah, I like the whole thing where, obviously Jala continues to think her mom is, a terrible, person or whatever. She's seen as the big antagonizer to a lot of things. And then when the grandma comes, it's just everything else means very little. It's the least of her concerns or problems. We had a lot of these paintings and everything. These things. I'm going to get them painted on high quality and then frame them all just like this. And I'm going to have them all in my apartment to mark us finishing Umineko. Alright, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Have a nice rest of your day. Have a great rest of your night. There's a small chance I might be back on later tonight with just something random else. It won't be Umineko. But I would say it's a small chance. Very small possibility. Possibility, but small nonetheless. But we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a nice rest of your day. Have a great Friday. Have a great rest of your night. Whatever it is. And I will, like I said, more Umineko, hopefully, tomorrow. And I will maybe see you then. So, until then, see ya.